Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Nguyen.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
What up, guys? Welcome to the episode 19 of the Everything Batman podcast. I'm your host, Dunk, and today is a very special day where we're going to review last weekend's activities over at San Diego Comic-Con. Today's panel of degenerates were showing me how much FOMO I had for not going to San Diego this year. But let's go through this panel and let's discuss some fun stories over the weekend. First off, we got Risley.
What's up?
We got our buddy Nando Nate.
What's up, everybody?
We got Legends.
Gonna tee you back, I'm lad.
And the gentleman that pretty much like ran San Diego this year, Bat Force Tom.
Oh, cheers.
So, we just got to get started because there's so many stories, so many photos, so many things that happen between just the four of you. And hopefully we got some people to jump in later on. But leading into San Diego Comic-Con, right? A lot of people don't know, like Wednesday, there's a lot of activities. Were you guys doing anything Wednesday?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, actually, I was lucky enough to go again to the San Diego Comic-Con Museum Character Induction Hall of Fame. So this year they did Spider-Man. So I was able to go to the red carpet event, hang out with US Bank, who was one of the sponsors for it, and kind of just, see the whole gala event that it was, got the little swag bag that they gave away, a couple, some books and some pins that were commemorating the event, and, just see the museum kind of solo, like very quiet, very small event. It was really well done, free food, free open bar. It was just really fun. Yeah, it was really good. And it was really cool to see a lot of the original artwork they had. From the very beginning all the way through the most current stuff. Spider-Ham was on the way out, like, saying goodbye to kind of out of the museum look of everything, but it was really good. They had the two bigwigs from Marvel Comics that were there to kind of accept the award on Spider-Man's behalf. So that was really kind of fun and big. So that was cool. It was a really cool event.
Joe Quesadilla?
Yeah, I think so.
Joe Quesada was there? That's cool.
Did he retire? Is he retiring from that position? I thought I heard that he's like leaving. I don't know.
Wrong podcast.
It was good. It was good. All I know is it was a good event. It was really fun to see everything there and how everything was taken care of and the setup. The difference between this one and the Batman one that they did in 19, Batman had a lot more of like TV props and movie props versus original artwork and original storytelling, things like that. So this was much more a museum style.
Cool. How about you guys? You guys did anything on Wednesday?
I think Legends went into preview night, right, Legends?
Yeah, me and Kev Dog went into preview night. We had to pick up our Bill Sienkiewicz pieces. So that was the main reason for going.
These little pieces.
Just little pieces.
Yeah, this one right here.
Not a print.
Not a print.
Dude, so quick story about that. So Legends had that set up with Bill beforehand. We're a part of a sketch comic book art group on Facebook that these guys turned me onto. And the amount of hate and jealousy when Legends posted that Eddie Munson, one of the comments said, "Was that a pre-show or portfolio piece?" Because the guy didn't believe that it was a pre-show commission.
Say it was a statement. It was more like pre-show or portfolio ?
Yeah. Quick backstory to this. If you're a Stranger Things fan, you don't need to know what this is, but this is a Bill Sink original 11x17 Eddie Munson playing Master of Puppets in the Upside Down. And it is when Legends texted me this picture like the day before we got down there. He goes, I got my Bill sync. Bill just sent me this picture, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like,
Tom showed me
Jesus.
that. Tom was when I was in line on Thursday. He was like, first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Hey, bud, what's up, man? Good to see you." It was like, "Did you see what Legends got?" And he pulled out his phone and showed me that. And I'm like, "That's awesome."
Yeah, I'm in that group
Kev
too,
got
man.
an awesome piece too, man.
I was in that group, and the comments are fucking hysterical.
Kev Dog got a ridiculous Frank Miller Sin City piece also by Bill Sink, and that one. So
The
I
crazy part is we both changed our subject matter like 2 days before the cutoff.
And he picked 3 pre-show commissions. 2 of them were Legends and Kev Dog. Like, well, how the fuck does that happen?
It wasn't on preview night, but my friend Ryan, who Jason also knows, he kind of planned a last minute trip, and he got a lot of Bill S pieces. He got like, I think there were 18 by 24 Moon Knight originals. So
Wow.
that was like that's a Sunday story. That's a Sunday story. But yeah, I got to see, Legends and Kev's pieces, and they're pretty fucking amazing. Like,
Did you go in on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I went on Wednesday night. I actually ran into Legends and Kevin as like sort of maybe like around 7 o'clock. I think we ran into each other because the show opens it's 6. I think the floor opens at 6, and I was like kind of waiting in line for Daniel Warren Johnson because I had all these hardcover books, and I didn't. The move is to do that on preview night, because on preview night it's only 3 to 4 hours. So carrying around those things for 3 to 4 hours is a lot easier than doing that on, a Thursday, a Friday, or Saturday, Sunday, when, you're at the show for 8 hours or more. So I brought in a Murder Falcon hardcover, and Daniel was drawing in each one. So at the Felix Comic Art booth, if you brought like a hardcover or a trade paperback from one of the creators, most likely they were going to draw on it for free. So that was a nice highlight, like not to spend any money. And it was also great to see Daniel. I met him a couple times. Super gracious, super nice. But dude's a rock star. Like, he had, 100 people waiting for him that night, and he banged out every single one. He drew an amazing Murder Falcon sketch in each hardcover that he got. I know some people brought Wonder Woman hardcovers, and he also did Wonder Woman in those. But I didn't even know how I was getting into the show up until that night. So my adventure was like super stressful on preview night, getting into the show. But I managed to get in, and I also saw Jock that evening. I think you guys also saw Jock too, right? Did you head there afterwards?
Kev Dog did for sure. I don't know if you did. Legends.
Yeah, but Jock was also signing at the Comixology booth. I think he was signing with Snyder.
Yeah, he was with Snyder.
Yeah, with Snyder. So Jock was signing with Snyder, and I had Jock also did a sketch in his Art of Jock book for me. That's my 3rd one now. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, like the Comixology booth was like the move, one of the places to be, because they had a lot of talent there, and they weren't charging for autographs.
No tickets either.
Yeah, no tickets either. It wasn't. I think the longest I waited was for like Capullo, and that was like maybe 30 minutes. So it was a really large booth. I know they're gonna have sort of the same setup and presence at New York Comic Con. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
It was wild to see, like, because there was no DC and there was no real Marvel booth, all the creators like had to. There was, I think for at least, I mean, I don't know if it's for both publishers, but they usually fly these guys out and put them up because they're expecting them to come and sign in their booth. But this year, because there was no main presence, I don't know if they set any of these guys up, and I don't know if they accommodated for them at all. So these guys had to, like, go to whoever's rep by Comic Sketch Art. They sign there 3 to 4 times a day. Comixology was hosting a couple of people. There was a bunch of other other booths that were hosting them. So like that's something I noticed is there was so much opportunity this year to get stuff like to meet them and get stuff signed, whereas before I felt it was like super limited by ticketed signings. Like there was opportunity every day. I felt like.
Yeah, there was just so much to do, you know, like even if your interest is super skewed or narrow, like for a character or creator, there was so much going on each and every day, you know, like I don't think there was like 30 minutes where I was like, oh man, I wish I was at this place or I wish I was at this place. You had to like give up, oh, I can't do this because I have to do that, you know.
100%, 100%. There's
That's
so
what it
much
felt like,
talent right across the board. There were so many artists that you could run into and see throughout the entire show that it was like lines were thin because people had other options and other choices to go do stuff. So it was really beneficial and advantageous for like the con goers this year.
Something that was wild, like so, I had emailed Comic Sketch about Jock's List opening up pre-show, and I mean they must have been swamped with emails because I just didn't hear back, no confirmation, and the only thing I had heard was Jock is only doing Batman and Joker, don't for anything else. And so I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, it's not cheap. So I was like, not that I wouldn't ask for Batman or Joker, but it's like you like to have the opportunity to kind of ask for whatever you want. And so then when you think like, man, he's all right, I'm Batman or Joker, and so it's like, fuck, like I really want the opportunity to get a Jock, but at the same time, like I don't want to be, you know, I want what I want. So I sent an email to them, didn't hear back literally until the show had already started. But before then, Kev Dog made his way down to Jock, and then Kev Dog texts me. This is like on Wednesday. I'm in the hotel room, and I don't know, maybe I was on the drive down, and Kev Dog texts me. He's like, I just talked to Jock. He says he's down to do the Joker that you want. And I didn't believe him. I'm like, bullshit. Like I hadn't heard an email from anybody. I'm like, there's no confirmation. So I said, bullshit, I don't believe. And I was joking. I said, bullshit, I want proof. So then, like 20 minutes later, I check my phone. I have a text message. It's a video from Jock that Kev Dog took his phone and he said, my friend Tom wants this Joker. He doesn't believe me that you said yes. Can you tell him? So fucking, it looks like a hostage video. And the thing is that Kev Dog already had the video running, so he just turned it to give to Jock, and Jock took the phone as if he was gonna say it, and he pushed the record button to speak. And then when he was done, he pushed the record button again and gave it back to Kev. So all I have is a video of Jock taking the phone from Kevin, and then again giving the phone back to Kevin. No message saying yes, I'll do it. But Kev Dog was like, I can hear him saying, I wish I should have. Let me see if I can find it right now. He's like, my friend Tom, can you tell my friend Tom he doesn't believe me? Did he just send that to me or did he send it in the chat?
Dude, Jock is down to do like other stuff. He's just always inundated with like, you know, ridiculous, you know, requests. I think
I can't find it.
like,
He had like a stack of sketch covers.
yeah, like I don't think people like he does. I think one of the reasons to say that because he does Batman really well and he does Joker really well. So if you know they offer that, no one's going to be disappointed. You know?
Right?
Like, oh,
Yeah.
I got an awesome Joker. I got an awesome Batman.
But preview night, I was way later than I had expected. So I got back to the hotel room and then got updates from Kev Dog and Legends about what they did preview night.
I don't remember working. I just remember getting text messages and shit from all you guys, and I'm just like, I don't feel like working now.
Just extreme FOMO.
It was like the Wednesday night was like, oh, that could have just been the show and that would have been great. Like it was nice too because like the other thing I remember is that because there was no DC booth, because there was no like there was a Marvel booth, but it wasn't really a Marvel booth. There was like very little like exclusives that I found that people were like, I have to have this. You know, there was definitely like exclusives at the show that people wanted, whether it be like toys or comics, but there wasn't like the fervor like I've seen before at other shows where people are super antsy, like when doors open where they need to get the exclusives. So I felt like maybe at this show, because there weren't so many like in-demand exclusives, people were able to like breathe a little bit easier. But that's what I noticed, at least on preview night.
But you're that's the video.
Yeah, here's. Oh, I don't know. Let me see if we can hear it.
Hold
You're
on.
willing to do the Jack Nicholson sketch cover? What's his name? Tom Hogan.
So then he took. If you can hear him in the beginning, it says,
You're willing to do the Jack Nicholson sketch cover?
"You're willing to do the Jack Nicholson sketch cover." So the idea that I had was, he can only do joke. He's only going to do Joker and Batman. I'm like, all right. And then I was like, I'm going to spend a lot of money on this. I'm like, I'm going to just shoot my shot, right? So I emailed the rep, will he do a Jack Nicholson Joker? And I didn't hear back. So I'm like, he's not doing it. I just assumed like he's not doing it, right? And then I saw Sean on Thursday. I think it was on Thursday when like you showed me that, was it a Batman sketch?
I had run into at Thursday at some point, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I had my schedule, and then, you know, it's not a regret, but you know when you go to a show and you get caught up in the moment and you're spending more money than you should have.
Yeah.
We've all been there, and just by chance, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I had run into Jock and there was nobody there. And one of the things that we should mention is that, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Whatnot had a huge presence at the convention. So
I had to download the app finally.
Whether talent was
presence.
streaming from Whatnot at the show or at what they call the Whatnot House offsite, you actually got a chance to see a lot of artists working on things that you normally wouldn't get a chance. So I was at a corner when Jock was setting up a Whatnot session, and I initially thought that they were doing it offsite, but they were like, no, we're going to do it on site. So he's like, they're going to do it right now. I was like, oh God. So I got caught up in like a bidding war for a piece, which I you know what? I think I got a good deal. I got a 9x12 Joker. I got to see it and do it in front of me. I paid slightly less than market price for what the sketch cover was. The 9x12.
It was a deal.
The
9x12 is more expensive.
It's
bigger.
It's a lot more expensive, and you know, I talked to the reps. It's going to be more expensive at the next show, you know, because you get a lot of value for this. So I got to see him do a piece in front of me, which is probably the most important thing. And I think a lot of us, you know, no matter what art we get, you know, if we can see talent do it in front of us, we can rationalize, no matter how much it costs sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember I was, I think I had mentioned it, and I had run into
you had it on you, and now that I remember, it was Whatnot, and you're like, and I saw it, and you're like, you got to get a Jock, and in my head, I had already like closed the book on that. I'm like, I'm not getting a Jock, like I'm you know, it's not gonna happen. She's like, you got to get a Jock. So it was like stab in the chest, like, oh, I gotta get a Jock, like.
The movie,
and then I was like
Jokers for all of them. So every Joker Jock has done a movie likeness or an animated likeness. I think like a couple years ago he came out with like some prints where he did every single Joker, if I'm not mistaken. So I knew.
Yeah, he did a promo where he drew all the Jokers like.
Yeah, so I knew immediately he'd be down to do a Nicholson Joker. You just need to like sometimes
find him
in front of you and talk to him about it.
I think that's what I mean. Kev Dog pretty much like saved the day for me when he like. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have cornered Jock, and I wouldn't have like tell me if you're gonna do it. Kev Dog did it. He's a fucking legend for it. So I gotta give him props for that, and that's what ended up getting me that piece. But that was so Wednesday night. Yeah, I think it was more just like kind of sucking the hype off of everybody's posts or what they're saying and all that. It's just, I was on the same boat with you, Dunk. Just like, I'm driving down, white knuckling it down the 15, just like looking at my phone, and I'm just seeing all these posts, and I'm like, just like sucking the hype, like getting high off the hype.
I need more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also Wednesday, at some point on Wednesday, Tease is hitting me up and he's like, we've been working with Hex, shout out Hex Brand, hexbrand.com. I think the code is different now. Maybe it's still up. comic-com 25 for 25% off your order. Long story long, we've had a relationship with Hex and we promoted their stuff before, and Tease sends me a text. He's like, what are you guys doing Friday morning? And I'm like, what? He's like, what are you and Legends doing on Friday morning? And I'm like, looking. We have like schedules. I'm like, I don't know really. And he's like, what if I told you that we might have an opportunity, to work with Hex and then possibly like, be at the Jim Lee bag signing? I was like, shit, all right. So that came together real quick, real fast.
Priorities.
And then, yeah. I mean, I think we were waiting for like, oh man, it wasn't the day of. Maybe it was like the night before. Like we're waiting for like confirmation on if it's gonna happen. And was that Thursday? That was Thursday that went down, right? I think.
No,
that was Friday.
No.
Yeah. So, but I was aware of it.
Friday.
Yeah, I was aware of it at some point between either like Wednesday or Thursday, and that was more of like, okay, don't put your
Don't get
hopes
too
in.
hyped.
Yeah, don't get too hyped over it because it might not happen, But that was cool. But yeah, that was.
I wrote everything I did down. Thursday for me, it was just. It was like
Rizzy got like a diary.
Yeah, well, so every show I have a book, and if you guys have seen me at a show, I have a book where I lay out the entire show. So it has drawing references, and then it has
AKA
like,
leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah, then it has like basically I break everything down by time because that's how the show is. So I forget what I do at the show sometimes because so much goes on, especially at San Diego, New York. But Thursday was chill. It was just like, I think it was the first day that Todd was there. So there was like, Todd McFarlane was signing. I mean, everyone's there on Thursday. So I think for me that day, it wasn't so much like an art day, but it was just getting signatures and running into friends. And, I went to Todd's panel, which is great. If you guys ever have an opportunity to go see Todd McFarlane at a panel, I highly recommend it because it's less of a panel and more of like an inspirational, motivational, do something with your life hour and a half.
Hi, Tony Robbins.
I mean, if you guys haven't listened to when Todd was on the Bat Force podcast, 100% recommend it. So I got to go to that panel, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, it was a chill day. It was a chill day. I got to see all the talent I wanted to see, like Bill Sienkiewicz, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane. It was like I don't know how to explain it, but everyone is like, "Oh, why was the show so good? Why was the show so good?" And I think it was because this is like the first really big show since like March of 2020 where everyone got to see each other. So it felt like a big like high school reunion.
Like a homecoming?
Yeah, it felt like a homecoming. So I just remember that day being like, wow, this is like really happening. Like this is really happening, just in terms of all these people. And it's just like it was a lot of good energy in that day. It was also Thursday too. So it wasn't
beginning of the madness.
Was the beginning of the madness, but also, just from a space perspective, I felt like the show like was able to breathe more because, usually your busiest days at San Diego are going to be that Saturday and Friday. So that Thursday felt like you could just, walk around and, I think sometimes, if you haven't been to San Diego before, you just can't understand how many people there are. And, you were just able to walk freely down, the booths in the convention center.
Yeah, a lot of the signage around the convention, like restaurants or booths or anything like that, they all said, "We missed you, welcome back." So like the vibe was really welcoming and like more of a celebration of the convention again too.
Celebration, bitches.
Did you guys feel that the convention floor was a lot less people this time around than 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I felt like the capacity was much smaller. You could walk without being shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Like even like in the media area, where like Netflix was and some of the anime and Nickelodeon, like you could walk through that. Before, like the media area, like forget it. Like there's no way you could like push through that crowd. Kind of the way the convention is sort of set up is, on one end you have Artist Alley, and the other end you have comic books, like the comic book vendors. So a lot of the times, because I know all of us here, at the root of it, love the comics, you find yourself having to walk all the way from one end of the convention center to the other end. In previous years, you would have to like go outside the convention center just to do that. But at least this year, I just found myself walking straight through the convention center. And
right, that's the real strategy of the vets. You go outside the con, you walk on the outside all the way from one side to the next. This year, you really didn't have to for the most part because the crowds weren't that big.
Saturday busy time, maybe, but Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Were they really strict with the mask and stuff? Because I did see a lot of people wear masks, but I did see some
not with the vendors. Not with the vendors, but like with the. I feel like I got stopped. I forgot that I didn't have a mask on. Every time I tried to go into the hall, I got stopped.
Yeah,
and then,
definitely when you're going through doorways, yes.
And then also, like I was walking around the crowd, and maybe one or two times I forgot I didn't have my mask on, and they stopped me. So I did notice that.
Okay. I had to give.
They were really good on the entrance ways. That's what they were doing. They were
which is interesting. Because the vaccine is the virus. The vaccine is the virus. The shedding is the virus. That's the real virus.
I saw V for this just as a funny note. Everyone can have their opinion on it, but I saw these dorks, and I mean that in a very mean way, outside the convention center wearing V for Vendetta masks, and they were anti-vaxxers, and it definitely stirred up a thing with me. But I first and foremost, some of those people don't know even what V for Vendetta was about. So it's just like, hey dude, like, do you know who David Lloyd is? And he's like, no, sorry, I don't know. And I was like, that's the guy who created the visual imagery of V for Vendetta. And then I was like, you do know you're wearing Nike shoes, right? And he's like, what? I'm like, do you know what this is about? So, but yeah, it was vaccines required or a 72-hour PCR negative test.
Clean bill of health.
Show. I know a lot of talent was super adamant about that being the reason that they did the show. It definitely helped people sort of have a little sense of relief going into it.
That's not bad. Yeah, New York was like that when they started in 2020, 2021.
2021.
What year is it? Jesus. And it is what it is. Like, we got to take care of the talent. We really lost people this year.
Some good people.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's not even through COVID, but let's minimize that. So Thursday just seemed to be more of a sketch day for you guys. Did you guys pick anything up?
Oh, dude, Thursday was my first pre-con pickup. Pre-con commissioned by Kat Staggs, and I had asked her to do Keaton Nicholson. Obviously, her pre-show list went up. I want to say maybe like 2 weeks before the con. And I saw the post. She's like 5 spots. I saw that she had put it up like a minute before. Like I saw it's been up for 1 minute. I'm like, fucking email. Emailed her, and I was like, I saw her prices. I saw what she was doing. She was doing. She was willing to do 11 by 14 2 figures. So I was just like, yo, Keaton Nicholson, and she's like, oh, I'm all about it. And so she did this piece, which is fucking incredible. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I love you, Kat Staggs. I did say 89, and she did returns, which is fine. Which is fine. I still love it. I mean, and then I showed Legends, and he said, I mean, he said it. He's like, it's a Keaton Batman. Are you mad at it? I'm like, no, I'm not mad at it. He's like, how can you be mad? I'm like, yeah, you're right. You at. So.
On Thursday, I got I had a sketch cover commission that I requested from an artist named Manuel Martinez. I was able to pick it up from him. He's been somebody that I've connected to. Yeah. So he's somebody that I've connected to a lot more recently. Like, he's done some stuff for my son, like on his birthday and just other things. But I was you know what? I wanted to finally get a sketch done. So he did that. He did it and colored it himself, and then brought it to the convention so I could pick it up from him. So that was my pickup, like sketch work wise, on Thursday.
Nice.
Plus,
that's a pretty maniacal Joker.
It is like somebody said. One of my friends said that's like what a vision of a nightmare would look like, and I was like, oh, it's not bad.
Thursday.
That, and then I was able to get the Todd foil from MegaCon signed on Thursday.
This bad boy.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Nice.
Thursday, I had forgotten that Jim had like a drawing demo. So whenever he does his panels, he like talks, but he draws the whole time. So if you ever guys have subscribed to Jim Lee's Twitch feed, he,
subscribe.
Like in the past 4 years, or definitely in the past 2 years, he does like, long, 2-hour pieces, but he was doing like sketches. I think he did like 7 or 8 sketches at his panel. So it was really cool to see Jim. It felt like I was watching, he's done that panel before where you watch him draw, but this was like, it felt like a little surreal because for the past couple of years, a lot of us have just watched Jim draw on Twitch when we were inside the whole time. So it felt like a real live Twitch stream. But I think that was one of the panels that was definitely a highlight to see, because Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. So seeing them, having the opportunity to watch him draw live is really cool. But I didn't win a sketch, but still it was cool just to see a lot of my friends there and just being able to watch them draw. They also asked one of the 2 fans at that panel, because at the end Jim always takes questions for like 15 minutes, but 2 fans asked about whether or not the Snyder movies will be continuing, and Jim gave an appropriate answer to those. But yeah, it was a good Thursday for me.
Those comments, by the way, went viral. It's funny because I ran into Sean. Was it Friday? And he was it Friday or Thursday after that?
It was
panel
Thursday, because I remember
right after
seeing you right after.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me, you're like, dude, you like 2 of your Snyder boys, 2 of your Snyder bros asked a Snyderverse question, and you were like, it was so cringe. Like they asked him as if like, and then you explained, Jim was really nice about it, and he was like, and he goes, I'm not really involved in the movie stuff, and I don't really have much involvement or know, but from my understanding, it was fun to do. Zach is happy that it came out. I did the sketches I did the concept stuff. I thought it was lost, but they never erased it, so it was nice to see that it was really there. And he's like, but from my understanding, the door seems to be closed. They're moving on to other projects. And that went fucking viral as if it was
maybe a 15-second response from Jim, if that.
And
it was super courteous.
That night I sent him. I already started seeing the memes, and I started seeing like the news posts coming in. So I screenshotted it and I sent it to Sean. I'm like, look at what the fuck happened. Like it already went viral as if it's like a statement. Like they made it seem as if it was an official statement by Jim Lee in DC.
No, it was just a very casual,
innocuous.
Yeah, it was just just like this. We're just talking about stuff. It's like,
and the internet went insane.
Yeah, it was not to be taken like in any way other than like, hey man, like I'm a comic book artist. I'm not involved in that sort of thing. And it's like, as far as I know, it's done.
All the stories came out. Everyone's like,
it was definitely
finally over.
It was super cringe. It was like, I can't.
I think I saw one that said Jim Lee shuts down Snyderverse.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
The thing is, it wasn't even like that.
Not at all.
It was just like, oh no, like I think the gist of it was like, Zach made some movies. He seems to be happy with them, and that's it. That was it. It was just, it seems so. I don't know how you can take. I know that's my response.
That's what they get paid for. Clickbait.
And when it was happening, I was like, I know this is gonna like blow up some way, and that's why I had messaged Tom immediately after. I was like, "You're not gonna believe."
Hey, grab a hold of your bros.
Oh man, we are a passionate bunch, aren't we?
Leslie, what did you do on Thursday?
Thursday, I picked up some artwork. I picked up my Jacob Chabot piece, which was quite nice. I don't know if we have a picture of that. Bad.
I think I might have emailed. I don't know.
Me and Kev Dog went to the Mattel WWE panel.
Yeah, I remember I ran into you guys. You were stoked.
Yeah.
Like Undertaker showed up and shit.
Cody Rhodes was going to be like the big attraction there, so he wanted to go because Kev Dog's really into wrestling. He wanted to see Cody Rhodes and try and get something signed. So we went, and they had some good showing some good action figures that looks like they're improving on some of their quality figs. Action Figure Attack was there moderating the panel.
Wow.
Yeah, he's up there, man. I remember when he was just like Toy Photography back in the day, like one of the OGs.
Now he's one of the he's one of the Mike Patel guys.
Yeah, now he's like one of the head. I forgot what his title was, but he was like leading the panel.
Isn't he specifically like a wrestling Mattel figure guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, like midway through the panel, I'm like getting tired and I'm like kind of dozing off, and all of a sudden I hear the Undertaker's music really loud, and I wake up. I'm like, what's going on? Right? And so I'm thinking they're unveiling like some type of anniversary action figure, and I'm like, all right, let's see what they got. It's Undertaker. And then the whole panel just turns and looks to the right, and I'm like, no way, he's not fucking here. Like, he's not gonna go. And it literally takes 15 seconds. It seems like an eternity, and all of a sudden Taker walks out and the crowd just goes fucking crazy.
That's sick.
Surprise. Yeah, it was dope. So he comes, he sits down for the rest of the panel, answers some questions, talks about action figures. It was pretty awesome.
He's been heavy on the con circuit this year. He's been doing a lot of things with Fan Expo, and then he's going to be at C2E2 next weekend.
Is it like a signing? Is he doing like a scheduled signing?
Yeah, he does all this signing. I think it's like $250 a sig or some shit. Yeah. I was debating it at MegaCon, and then at Dallas, I was like, yo, I gotta meet Undertaker, dude. Get a pic with him.
Yeah, that was dope.
That's sick. So that's Thursday. All right.
Yeah, that was Thursday.
Anything happened Thursday night?
Night.
Thursday, we forgot that Murphy announced the last-minute signing.
Oh, was that? I didn't see that until Friday, honestly.
He posted a last-minute signing because I remember I ran into Legends and Kev, and I think he posted it like maybe right after I had ran into you guys, and then we were like, "Oh, Murphy's here," and luckily I had something, on me already that Murphy could sign, so. I think you guys headed back to the hotel and got your books, and then I got a couple books signed by Murphy, so that was cool. And
yeah, because you were supposed to do Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, well, he had a panel that day, and then he had the afternoon, so I think he was like, "Oh, I'll just be at my table." So I got a book signed by Murphy and Katana, and then I also put in for a commission, like a at show commission with Clay. It was super nice, and then I picked that up I think on Sunday. But,
so wait, that signing was on Thursday.
Yeah, the Murphy signed. He did a panel with Jock on Thursday. Let me double check.
Checking the notes.
No, actually, that was on Friday. But he was there. Was that on Friday? I don't even remember, man. It's like
he posted
he was there on Thursday because that's when everybody was asking him about his Versace shirt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah,
so was it a Friday signing?
He was there for like 2 hours on Thursday, and then I got something signed by him. I'm pretty sure Legends and Kev also saw him in the afternoon, but you only had like a really short window. He's like, I'm gonna be at my table from 3 to 5 if anybody wants to stop by. Or something like that.
Yeah, I came prepared. I had a stack like this big for Murphy to sign.
Yeah, so we took advantage of that because getting the stuff signed on Thursday is a lot easier than like waiting until he's advertising he's initially going to be there like on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Hold on.
So
that was
Kev Dog.
Well, hello everybody.
Kev Dog.
This is going to be an audio only.
Are you at work right now?
Kev Dog. Under investigation once again.
Priorities.
It's okay, Kev.
Kev Dog.
That's right.
Yeah, wait, what What was the signing that we filmed? Was that Thursday?
No, that was on Friday.
That was
Okay.
Friday.
Okay, I was so confused.
Because it was planned. Because like I had gone to the signing I brought like most of my books, and you were already there, like earlier. Yeah. You were like, you know, Murphy's bodyguard.
Murph dog.
And yeah, that was definitely on Friday. It was definitely on Friday.
Okay. Thursday, I remember dropping off some books to get remarked by David Finch. I was, and you know, I wasn't tenacious enough because I emailed once again. I emailed and I was like, "Can I get on David Finch's list?" And they're like, "Oh, his list is capped, but you can show up day of, and then ask if you can add on to the list, and then get remarks." I was like, "All right." So I showed up Thursday to his booth. He was signing around 1, and I asked to be added for remarks. And later found out that one of Legends' friends showed up and asked for to be put on the sketch list. And I fucking wish I would have thought to do that because he ended up getting a Keaton Batman from.
Yeah, just you gotta ask. That's the thing.
Yeah.
One of the things about the show, you know, like not just this show, is like, even though, you know, someone's handler says no, like you just gotta go straight to the talent and just ask, like, hey, like, can you do this? Because sometimes you know, like they're there to make money, so
right? Especially this year. I mean, they're coming back after the pandemic. Marvel and DC are not accommodating them or not paying for them to either travel or setting them up because there's no commitment to having the booth. So I think that they took it upon themselves to really take the opportunity to make themselves available to fans and open up like opportunities to get, because I got a lot of DMs like when I started posting some of the stuff I got. How'd you get that? Like, who'd you talk? Like, dude, just fucking follow them on social media and just head them up. Like, they want your money, you know? And so
give them money.
Yeah, they need it, you know. So I was that was cool though. David Finch is, I mean, for those listening, if he's coming around to a con, get on that list, man. He is affordable for who he is. Like,
really?
Oh, dude. For the sketch covers, he's like $350 for a sketch cover. For a single character.
For a head sketch, yeah, $350.
Head sketch, no background, but you know, it's fucking David Finch. Like that Keaton that he did, that was a $350 head sketch. Beautiful. And then he's got, I think, what's the next?
Full Fig was $1250.
Oh, okay. And then $1250 and then up after that. But I mean, like, if you affordable, if you want a head sketch from David fucking Finch, and then his remarks even more affordable, $125 per remark per book. I mean,
yeah, he takes his time on all the things that he does.
Yeah, it's probably best to get the remark on a blank though.
That's what I was saying before you hopped on. Is I think that was my mistake. Is the Swamp Thing cover I got, that looks the best because it shows up nicely because it's the Bane cover is though is a sick cover. It's a very busy cover, and the remarks show up better on a blank or on a single color. But
plus you can get like 5 different artists on the same blank, and then it looks really cool if you have like 5 different remarks.
Yeah, like a jam. So Thursday was just like kind of getting your bearings and figuring it all out the first day.
Yeah.
But I do remember
by 9:30.
But I remember coming back to the room and being like, "Fuck!" Like we did a lot. That was like we got a lot of shit done. I'm like, "Damn!" That first day because I picked up my cat Stags. I got on the list for Finch. I want to say, did I get? I don't forget. I felt after Thursday, I'm like, "Fuck!" If the con ends today, I'm happy.
Thursday,
you know, I got my cats.
I think I hit up everyone, seeing what they're doing at night, but I hit you guys up late, and I think everyone was asleep. But
Bro,
I went
9:30.
I went to
I was not sleeping.
FYI. You're a liar. You're a liar, Kev Dog. I have video of you asleep, Kev Dog.
I went to the CBLDF auction, which was a preview of some of the pieces for Saturday. So that was cool. It was like held at a different place that the auction on Saturday was happening. But I was texting the guys, and there was.
Please don't get me started on the auction.
We'll get there.
It was cool because it was like a donation to get in, and it was at this really nice hotel that had like this like beautiful like pool, and like there was free food. There wasn't free booze, but there was free food. So I ate my Thursday night dinner over there, which was cool. I also biked around a lot at the show. If you guys don't know, I bike a lot, so I was able to get around and do a lot of things.
No
like bring them
scooters?
back. What's up?
No scooters?
This is the Chabot piece, by the way.
No scooters. There were scooters, but yeah, that's a lot of characters. There's no scooters. There was no scooters for me, but getting around a bike was pretty fast and easy.
Is anyone missing from that piece?
Oh yeah, the Riddler.
Your mama.
But yeah, I went into an art auction, and everyone thought that like that was the end. I was like, no, this is like a preview night. The rest of the auction is going to be on Saturday. The reason
the
why
chat was going crazy.
The reason why the auction was very like last minute is because initially where it was supposed to be held at the Hilton, there was a worker strike, so they didn't know if the auction was going to actually happen where it was on Saturday, but it did, and we'll get more into that like on the Saturday recap.
Damn, that's a crazy fucking Thursday. All right, so Thursday, Thursday officially being the first day, it's mad key to get as much as you want, as much as you can done, so you don't miss out on everything else, especially on a 4-day con. 4-day cons are tough. I think with only 4-day ones are San Diego, New York, and is that it? C2E2.
I think the show doesn't feel long. It just physically feels long.
Yeah, your feet really feel it.
I think for everyone, it's like because there's so much going on and to look forward to. You know, it's like, oh crap, like Saturday is gonna be the day, but it's like no. Wednesday's
Friday.
Awesome, Thursday's awesome, Friday's awesome, Saturday's awesome, Sunday's awesome. You know,
Wednesday for me was the best.
Which way?
Wednesday for me was the best.
Wednesday.
Because dog, we
didn't even need to pick up a badge.
Oh my god, tell that story.
What?
Tell that story, Kev Dog.
So Mr. Legends needed a preview night badge to.
Oh yeah.
Where are you going again? Where are you going for?
What were you, was he trying to get on a list?
Yeah,
no, Wednesday I was just trying to go look at Albert Moy's selection and Scott Williams.
That's right. And then so I gave you my preview night, and then I decided, you know what, screw this. Let me try to sneak in, and easy peasy, got in before you too.
Yeah, he did get in before me with no badge.
Here's the thing. So like, you know, I've found myself very lucky to get into things because I've lied about my abilities, I have lied about my access, and you know, 40% of the time you find yourself in situations that you're not supposed to be in because you just are a good liar.
Yes.
Kev Dog is like way fucking better than at that than I am, that I could ever be, because I'm like a little apprehensive at times to like to get in trouble or to like burn the bridge. Kev Dog doesn't give a fuck. Like, he literally doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't fucking care. Like, he's gonna try it. He doesn't care how many times he hears the word no. I mean, he got kicked out and he got back in.
That word no is not in my vocabulary, okay?
Oh my god.
Fucking Kev Dog.
Well, I remember when I ran into Jason and Kevin. Kevin's like, I don't have a badge. He's like, stand in front of me. So like, I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I just snuck in. I was like, so like, Kevin, most of the show was like always directly behind someone, like covering his chest like this, like he didn't have a t-shirt on. It was like just like, stand in front of me. He's like,
just gotta be incognito, my boys.
Yeah, whatever works, bro. Whatever works.
It was funny. Like, I just remember running into you guys at Daniel when Daniel was signing, and he had told me that. I was like, "You did what?" I was like, "You snuck in." He's like, "Yeah, I snuck in." We probably shouldn't be saying this on a San Diego Comic-Con recap, you know, and they'll ban his name from
because he has his full name and social on this podcast.
What hospital are you currently working at, Kev Dog?
Oh, that's you know, towards the south-ish area.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny. Like that. Yeah. Well, that was preview. That was Wednesday night. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I was sharing earlier, Kev Dog, how you were asking me something about Jock, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I can get on his list. And you're like, I'm gonna ask him. I'm like, and I was just like, no, okay, whatever. I just kind of threw it away as like a whatever. And then you're like, Jock said that he'll do your Joker Nicholson, and I'm like, I don't believe you. I need proof. And I said that fucking joking. I don't believe you any proof. And then 20 minutes later, I have a video of you sticking your phone in Jock's face to prove to me that he said yes.
He messed up the video. It was already playing, but
I know,
he basically
but
said yes.
yeah, but the video the first one is my friend wants to know if you were willing to do the Nicholson Joker, and then you can hear him go, yeah, cheers, yeah, and then he takes the phone from me. Yeah, yeah, I will. Phone off. Fuck yourself.
Jackson to New York. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
That'd be great. So that's so Wednesday was insane. Thursday was a great I guess a great way to like start the actual con that everyone else is aware of. How was Friday?
I almost forgot. I want to say it was Thursday that I picked this nasty fucking beast up from Ben Templesmith.
Oh yeah, you gotta tell the story.
So I had hit him up for a pre-show commission, and I had two different ideas that I wanted to do. And then after the first idea I gave him, I was like, I emailed him back. No, you know what? I think this one's better. And he's like, oh, I like that one better. So I basically asked him, can I get a Swamp Thing walk with a Bigfoot pose walking through the swamp and maybe some skulls on the bottom? And he fucking nailed it. That's why Thursday I picked this up and the Cat Stags. I was walking around with this and Cat Stags, and I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I can go home. It's 11 by 17, fucking amazing piece. Like Templesmith is one of my favorites. He's so fucking cool, and like I talked to him for probably like 45 minutes. 20 of them were before he even showed me the piece. We were just chatting back and forth. And it's like, I couldn't be happier with this fucking Swamp Thing piece. I'm so, like, I was blown away. Like, it came out so much better than I thought it would. And I know he was perfect for, like, that kind of character. And, yeah, dude, this thing is like, oh, my God. So that was Thursday.
What a fucking Thursday. Jesus.
Right. And so Thursday night, I want to say it was around Thursday night where Teases is like, we got the confirmation. We're going to do the Hex bag signing at the booth. Jim Lee's going to be there. Talk to Trent, who's running the booth, and we're going to cover it for the Bat Force. You know, he wants us to work with him to cross promote it. So actually, that was also it was also on Thursday. Thursday he goes go to the booth Thursday, talk to Trent, meet with him, and then we will go back on Friday. So Thursday, actually, me, Kev Dog, Legends went to the Hex booth. We talked to him about what we wanted to do. He hooked us up with a couple of bags. I had a portfolio bag. Legends got an actual bag. Nice. Legends and Kev Dog both caught the bug, and they bought bags on top of that. Because if you buy a bag, it automatically enters you into a raffle to win a sketched bag with a head sketch on it. So we talked to Trent. Actually, talked to Skip. Trent wasn't there yet. We talked to Skip, who was also working the booth. Awesome dude. Shout out Skip. Shout out Trent. Hexbrand.com. And they're just like, yeah, Jim's going to come. He's going to be here. The signing moved to 12. Just get here a little early. You guys can cover it. We want photos. We want pictures. We'll post it. We'll repost it, this and that. And so that was Thursday night. We got the go-ahead. Or Thursday, I forget what day it was. But we were like, okay, Jim Lee's going to be here. We're going to cover the Jim Lee Hex bag signing. So that was the end of Thursday. We're going into Friday. Was that the day where we were idiots and we went down to the show floor at like 9, and then we had breakfast and we stood in the sun for like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
What?
So Friday, like, we thought we were smart. We were like, we don't have anything that we have to get in there early for. So like, let's not fight. Let's not get up early. Let's just get down there at like 9, and then the doors open at 9:30. We'll walk right in, and we'll get to go to do exactly what we needed to do. And so we went down to the gas lamp. We actually, like, we're outside the door. It's like 9 o'clock, super hot. We're like, fuck this. Let's go get a cup of coffee. So we walked across the street. We were gonna get a cup of coffee, and then there was just one of the restaurants was open. So we were like, let's get some breakfast. So we sat down to have some food. I wish I remember the waitress. I love her.
Was she like super nice?
Super nice. 45, 46 years old. Probably a mom of 2 or 3. I mean, just checking off every box, And she was like super cute, super bubbly.
What was the name of the restaurant?
I don't remember what it was. It was the restaurant that the second floor was hosting the Apple TV event.
Okay.
I don't know what building that was, but had breakfast and came back, and then the doors weren't opening. They weren't opening the doors. It was like 9:45. They still haven't opened the doors. And dude, it is under the blistering fucking sun. There's no canopies.
Yeah.
Like I'm bald. I'm fat. It was brutal, and I'm like, so I told Legends and Kev Dog, fuck this, dude. I'm gonna race you guys inside. So they stood by the doors, and I went all the way up to the sales pavilion where they were leading people up to go in, and then come back down and spit you out. But that was bad. It was so hot that day that like I was dying.
I decided to go into the exhibitor line. I just had to get my register for my booth and pick up my badge. You know.
Again, gets in fucking early before us.
And Kev Dog sneaks in again.
I was helping a couple friends who had booths. So I was helping an art dealer, and I was also helping talent. So I had to do like every day that show happened. I had to do like I had to be up, very early just to get my just earn my wage. But it was worth it, you know. I mean, I was just doing like grunt work in the morning from like 6 in the morning until 9. But yeah. We're talking about Friday now, Friday morning, right? Yeah. Friday was really hot. Friday was really hot. Saturday was cool. Friday was super hot. I just remember that sun when I went out in the middle of the day. I was like, damn, it feels like it's 90 outside.
How busy was Friday compared to like in perspective of a Saturday or Thursday?
Still didn't seem that bad. Like it was surprising. I mean, there was people. There was definitely more people, but it did not feel like a Friday at San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, I mean, there's still opportunities to walk right up and get stuff signed, walk right up and meet an artist. Like everyone had multiple signings at their booths, either in Artist Alley or wherever they were being hosted. Like I don't think there's one. I mean, aside from maybe Todd, who you needed to have a ticketed, you had to have a ticket to see him, and maybe Snyder at the Image booth needed a ticket. Everybody else was a non-ticket. Just kind of get in line, make sure you get there early. That's pretty much how it was most of the weekend. You guys were running around. You wanted to make it to a couple of different things, and then the priority was at 12. We had to do the gym signing. So around like 11:45, we got down to Jim's booth, and so we just kind of started. Legends and Kev Dog jumped in the line. Nando was literally the first in line for that. Hopefully he hops on here in a bit, but he was literally first in line for the Jim Lee hex bag signing.
Nice.
So we saw Nando in line, said hi, what's up to him. Kev Dog Legends jumped into their line. I went to the booth to see how it was going to run, and then by the time I walked over to the booth, Jim Lee was already sitting there. So then, Trent and then Skip were like, do your thing, whatever you need to do. So I was like, all right. So I stood behind Jim Lee, and I basically filmed him, took pictures of him, signing bags, talking to fans. He sketched for one person, and that one person was a personal friend of his. And if you saw that he had put a Batman head on any of the backpacks, that's because he also knew those people. And so that is the young lady who got that amazing sketchbook. Oh, should I tell this? Is it okay? I'll tell the story. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to say who it is, but I'll say this. This was so fucking dope. So he's sketching that Batman head sketch. That's Nando stuff, by the way. That was like the first or second person he was signing for. So Jim Lee's sketching that Batman head sketch. He's blasting it out. We put it up on the Bat Force if you want to see the whole time. I mean, it took him a minute to do it. 1 minute. He's sketching out that Batman head sketch. So he's blasting it out. Everyone's watching him, and then after he finishes it and he gives it back to her, and then there's a guy who was a CGC witness who was standing. He's witnessing everybody who wants to get stuff CGC. So, and he's a young guy. I think his name was Jacob. Really young guy. He was like in his 20s, maybe in his 20s.
See some of the kids working CGC, you're just like,
yeah,
you're in high school.
He did. He literally looked like he was either in high school or fresh out of high school. Young, bushy-tailed Jacob. God bless him. The world has not yet been cruel to him. And so
just
Jim,
like me.
yeah. So Jim goes, excuse me, Jacob. And so he turns around and he goes, can you put that sketch on my personal account? And then he's like, you want me to put that sketch on your account? He goes, yes, put that one on my personal account. And he goes, okay. And so Jacob like runs away, right? And it's all like, holy shit, like Jim Lee just put somebody's head sketch on his personal fucking CGC account, right? Like, first of all, I didn't even know. It makes sense now that people can have like a Jim Lee can just have a personal CG. Like, excuse me, can you put that on my tab? You know what I mean? Like, I guess it makes sense. He's fucking Jim Lee. So yeah, Jim Lee would definitely have that pull. And so, you know, Jacob runs off and then the signing continues. And I swear, like 20 minutes later, an actual CG, like a grown-up with a CGC polo shows up. And he goes, excuse me, Jim, I just had a question. Did you say to put this on your personal account? And then Jim goes, yes, that's correct. Goes, okay, just wanted to make sure, just wanted to clear that up. So obviously, poor fucking Jacob runs back.
No one believes him.
Runs back.
What are you talking about, Jacob?
Poor Jacob runs back to the CGC booth and he goes, Jim Lee just said to put this one on his personal account. And then everyone's like,
bullshit.
Shut the fuck up, Jacob.
Yeah.
And so the guy had to go all the way from this. I mean, actually, it was just down the aisle. It was like two aisles over. But he had to come over and like, they didn't believe him. They didn't believe him. So they had to confirm. And yeah, they confirmed it. And so that was fucking hilarious. That was the first thing that was dope as fuck. Second thing that was dope as fuck. I'm standing there taking video, taking pictures, I tried to take video of everything. I took video of Nando, I took video of Legends, I took video of Sean, all getting their shit signed. And
that was why your phone died that day.
Was that Friday that my phone died?
Yeah, that was Friday.
Maybe I was. So no, my phone died the night of the auction. Wasn't that Saturday?
My phone died.
It also died Friday because you were at the Murphy signing.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm taking video of everything. So where was it? Where was I? I was so we're at the gym signing and you know, crowd's moving and whatnot, and then I'm standing there at the booth and I see Athena Finger. So Athena Finger rolls up and she had her mask on, but I knew it was her. She, you know, she's got the tattoos and all that, the blonde hair. I'm like, oh fuck, that's Athena Finger, you know, and she's coming to see fucking Jim Lee sign. This is dope as fuck. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this on fucking video. So I whip out my camera again, start filming it, and she comes. It's in the middle of the signing, right? And she, you know, she just wanted to come say hi. She knew that he was signing, or maybe she walked by and saw him. But she's like, Jim, I just wanted to say hi. I tried to say hi to you at the Batman premiere, but you were just swarmed, and I didn't want to bother you. And as she's saying this, the Trent, who is running the text booth, doesn't know who she is because she was to his back. Or she had his back to him, so he like taps her on. And I have this on video. I forgot that I have the whole video. So he taps him on the shoulder. He goes, "Excuse me, do you have a ticket? This is a ticketed signing. You're gonna have to move." And I'm filming this. Trent. It's cool, bro. Trust me. She's cool. It's cool. And so he's like, "Oh, okay." So then he backs off. I'm like, this guy was about to kick fucking Batman's granddaughter out of line. Yeah. And then so like right after that happens, she's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, you know, whatever, I just wanted to say hi. And Jim's like, oh, thank you for saying hi. And then she starts walking away and I'm like, no, wait, can I get a picture of you two? And so then she comes back and she gets right next to Jim and I snap that picture and I tell Trent, I was like, dude, Athena Finger, Batman's granddaughter, came to say hi to Jim Lee at your fucking Hex brand booth signing for your fucking Batman bags, dude. How like it was like the stars aligned, you know what I mean?
You almost fucking gave her the boot, dude.
You almost kicked her out of line, but it made the story that much better. Like it made it almost. Oh, Nando was just saying how you were the first in line for that Jim Lee signing.
I was actually second in line because the couple from Australia,
the Australians,
beat me to be there. Yeah, she's the reason why that sign even existed because she fabricated the tube wrap with the sign to hold it above her head to be like the VIP line starts here because she got tired of holding the sign. Yeah, she got tired of holding the sign by her by her chest. She was like, you would think that they would need to do this better, but nobody wants to do it. And I was like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But Jim was awesome. He signed 3 of my books and my backpack.
Yeah, so it was like just so much cool shit happened in that signing, like back to back, and um, it was rad. It was rad, man. I mean, like, yeah,
We're all
just
at the signing, right? Yeah,
Did you tell him the story about when you got egged? Did he recognize you?
no, because I just it was I there was just so much going on. I didn't have time. He was so busy, like
Yeah.
he was talking to the fans, so I didn't want to interrupt any of the you don't want to interrupt the fan interactions. The only thing I asked him is when Legends came around with his Legends had his Lego set of the shout out Lego, shout out Nano Knight, shout out Lego Batman. Legends had that Lego set that he brought over for Jim. There it is. And so when he put that in front of Jim, all I asked was, Jim, is it true what happened to that Joker original art, and that it was stolen? And so apparently at some convention, he's like, yeah, they did the whole backpack routine. They did the whole backpack maneuver, and he's like, they must have put their bag on top of the art and then lifted it when they moved away.
Yeah, that was at Dallas.
Yeah, and so I was like, it's probably sitting over the bed of the Sultan of Brunei.
and for those of you guys who don't know what that art looks like,
there it is.
The Lego version.
That's the original. That's who stole it, Nando. There he is.
Wait, what?
Snitching on himself.
Sorry, Jim.
That was the shipment I sent you after Dallas.
DHL.
So that was part of Friday. No, yeah, that was part of Friday, and then running around. I'm sure you guys were doing some stuff, running around, and then Murphy had his signing at 2.
Yeah.
So we headed down there and said hi, what's up to Murphy, and I was like, yo, dude, is it cool if I film your signing for the Bat Force? And he's like, what? I'm like, is it cool if I film your signing for the Bat? And I don't think he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, because he was like, what? I was like, yeah, can I film it for the Bat Force? He's like, yeah, okay, sure. And I could tell like they were kind of flustered because they came in like right before their signing, and their Square was not working, so they had no Square app. They had no ability to take card for their signing, and they were selling merch. They're selling books, they're selling prints. I think they're selling remarks too. Clay had books, and so it's like they're fucking cutting their ability to make money in half by not having their Square. But I think what ended up happening is they were able to figure out Venmo, so they just opened up their Venmo, and they allowed for Venmo purchases for prints and stuff like that. So that kind of saved the day for them. But it was a last minute signing, or was that Friday?
Yeah, Friday was scheduled.
Scheduled, okay.
Friday was scheduled. No, Friday wasn't scheduled. It was Saturday, Sunday that was scheduled.
So they announced it. They announced it either Thursday night or Friday morning.
Yeah.
So it was like last minute, and they were actually
Friday morning.
Yeah, they got hooked up with a spot at Comic Sketch Art. They were using Mark Brooks's booth, and so it's just like it was kind of they were a bit flustered because they were just trying to get in and trying to get things done. So I filmed that signing. I was helping out, like handing out prints when people were buying it and shit.
Yeah, I think
and that was
gave
dope.
you the finger at one point.
Because
Tom is being modest. Tom is being modest right now about helping the booth. Tom was basically kicking the other guy out and being like, I'm taking over now, and it's like, I'm running all this stuff for you. It was like the guy even tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, you're in charge of the stuff back here now. And he was like, oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I wonder what
Sean's shoulder and was like, I got you.
I forget why that happened. I don't know if I think that guy was working at the other booth, like right next to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was kind of doing a favor, like with Sean's, like being there for Sean's booth. So once I think he realized that like he didn't have to do that, he like tapped out and he's like, "You're on Prince now." I was like, "Okay." And what's funny is that like there was a moment when like oh God, what was it? Oh yeah, there was. I shout out to. I wish I had asked your name, buddy. I didn't get your name. I wish I fucking had. But I'm standing there, and someone goes, "Bat Force Tom, what's up?" And like I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Love the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, thanks for listening, man." And I fucking wish I had gotten the guy's name, but I was like, so like you're running around doing stuff that you forget. But that was dope. And then Legends rolled up to the signing, and then I told Murphy, I was like, "Yo, Legends is on his way." just a heads up. And Murphy's like, thanks for the heads up. And then as Legends rolled up to the signing, Murphy saw that Legends had showed up. So Murphy got up out of the booth and he walked around and he straight up like sized up Legends as he walked up to Legends. Like he made himself all big, like to shake his hand, and then he shook his hand and he goes, I guess we have to be fucking friends now, huh? And so that was fucking hilarious. That was hilarious to witness that. And so that was dope. But I think the coolest part was near the end of the signing. It was kind of starting. I mean, they had a crowd the whole time, like the full 2 hours, and it wasn't until near like the last hour when it really started to slow down. And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, boom, the Todd Father shows up. Specifically came to find Sean to say hi to Sean, and so where's Sean? I already had a signing here or something. And so we're standing there, and like Todd McFarlane just comes up to see Sean, and we're like, oh fuck. And I'm like standing next to Clay, and then Clay's like, Clay McCormick is like,
so is everyone else.
Yeah, dude. And that was rad. That was rad to see, like you're all there for Sean Murphy signing, and then fucking Todd McFarlane shows up to say hi during his signing. So that was fucking cool and classy, to kind of say what's up to Sean, and to kind of like, that was just dope, dude. It's fucking dope as fuck. And they talked for like 10-15 minutes, who knows what they were talking about, but they were talking for a while. And then as they're talking, Jesus Christ, I forget how epic this all was. As they're talking, fucking Chip Kidd just walking down Artist Alley, and he sees Sean's booth, and then he stands there and just waits politely until Sean is done talking to Todd McFarlane. And Chip Kidd, just legendary Chip Kidd, no big deal, just Chip Kidd chilling out. And so Chip Kidd standing right in front of Sean's booth, and then I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm like I'm not gonna not say something. So I was like, Chip, I love your work, big fan. He goes, oh, thank you. And he's like so gracious. And I was like, thanks for coming on, the show so long ago. We'd love to have you back. And he's like, oh, anytime, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like looking at Sean's work, and he's like, oh, this is really nice. And I go, yeah, man, it reminds me of your stuff. That's why I like it. Like real design, real. And then he's like, oh wow, thank you. Just he was super fucking cool. And he waited until like Sean was done talking to Todd for him to go and talk to Todd. So that was just, I mean,
don't forget Chip asking us advice on if he should buy some original art.
That was dope, and I filmed that. And I have a video of that.
What piece was he trying to buy?
He was trying to buy
this Carmine Infantino piece over at one of the dealers' booths, which was like it wasn't the original, but it was like a production reprint.
That or something.
For like $750.
Yeah. So he was,
and he was like, you ever just want to buy something just so that way you can frame it and just look at it every day or look at it daily? And I was like, yeah, every single piece that I buy.
And so he's like, so he showed us the picture, and I was like, that's such a fucking gorgeous picture. Like I would kick myself if I didn't get it. And he goes, okay, yeah, thanks for that. Now, okay, yeah, he goes, you're making it easier for me. And so that was just rad. Just like, I mean, legendary artist after legendary artist saying hi to like the big up and comer, Nando got a bunch of shit signed. I know he got a bunch of stuff. Like he got a really cool black and white remarked. And then Sean mentioned something about one of the books you had. He's like, I've never even seen this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my black and white as well.
Yeah, that's Nando's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was getting mad. He was not mad, but he was like kind of laughing a little bit. He goes, because he saw that the foil print, some of the other like exclusive variant prints. He was like, what the hell? He's like, how did you get all of these? And I was like,
yeah, that one.
Well. And he's like, you have great covers, man. And I was like, well, I mean, it's really easy to get the great covers when you have the great art, right? And he was like,
Yeah, but he really mentioned your foil piece, like the foil cover. He was like, what? He's like, I haven't even seen that one.
Yeah.
You'll see it again in New York Comic Con. I'll tell you that much.
That, and then he was that one, and then when I got Clay, because they were selling the hardcover, the slip for Bloody Hell, and I got one, right, and then Clay and Sean both did remarks on the interior cover of it, and Tom was gonna get one, or he probably did get one, but at that point Clay goes, "You're the first one to get this out of both of us on the book."
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's rad. Super
Double
sick.
remark.
Yeah.
So that was a great signing, and then that was Friday. So again, like, I'm trying to remember what happened after that. I don't even remember. Like, it's such a blur. All the crazy shit that's going down.
Was this Friday?
Was that Friday night? That was Friday night.
Because that's when you met Anthrax Boy.
Oh, I think I forgot to send you that picture. Maybe I did. So like so we had hit up Murphy like before the con, and we're like, I told him if you have time, it's cool to grab a drink. If not, obviously you got shit you got to do. You got people, you got meetings. Like, don't worry about it. And then so I think I don't remember if like he told us if he was going to the Hyatt, but we just assumed like we're always going to go to the Hyatt. Like we know like in years past the Manchester Grand Hyatt was one of the hotels that all the talent stay at, so we just assumed people would be down there. So we went down there Friday, and then sure enough, he decided to show up down there, and so like I told him, I was like, yo, dude, like we'll be down there if you ever want to come out down there. And he's like, all right. And so we showed up to like possibly hang out with Murphy, and we're getting drinks and we're waiting. And as we're waiting, I'm sitting down, and I see Charlie Benante, the drummer from Anthrax, literally sitting at the table right across from us. And comic book artists, cool, keeping it cool. We interview these guys, we hang out with these guys, cool. Fucking metalheads, dude, like metal band dudes from metal bands, I can't keep my cool around. Like, it's just like that's when I become a little kid. So we're there to hang out with Sean Murphy, and Sean and his wife and like Blake Northcott and like Ming Chang are all at their table like getting drinks, and then Legends and like Kevin are like, you want to go over there? I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't go over there. I gotta wait to talk to fucking Charlie. Like, I gotta wait to talk to fucking Charlie Benante. And so like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, dude, I gotta figure out how to talk to him. Like, by the way, Charlie, drummer from Anthrax, was just announced last week as the tribute drummer for the Pantera tribute. So Phil Anselmo, Rex Brown playing bass, Zach Wilde playing guitar, and then Charlie Benante playing drums. So they just announced that. It's fucking huge news in the metal world. So I'm like, I got to talk to him about that. So I grab the waitress and I go, can I get their drinks? Whatever they just ordered, can I pick that up? And she's like, oh, they didn't order drinks. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, she's like, but they're getting food. And then I go, can I pick up their tab for their food? She's like, that's really nice. And I was like, yeah, just please. And she's like, okay. And she's like, do you want me to tell them? I was like, don't tell them till they're after they're done eating. Like, I don't want to weird them out. She's like, okay. So then she leaves, and then Legends and Kev Dog are like, are you gonna fucking wait until they're done eating now? And I'm like, I can't miss my opportunity to say hi. Like, yeah. And so they're like, well, we're gonna go. So like, go. So they go over to start having drinks with Murphy, and then Legends goes first, and they're sitting down talking. And then at some point, I don't know what happened, where Murphy's like, what the fuck are they doing over there? Like, why aren't they coming over to saying hi, right? I don't know what Murphy said, or
yeah, he's basically like, what is he doing, living his fantasy out over there or something like that?
Yeah,
so we go see what the holdup was.
So Murphy comes back, and so Murphy, Legends, and Kev Dog and I are now sitting at the same table across from Charlie Benante, and Sean Gordon Murphy, rock star artist of Batman White Knight, is saying, can you come hang out with my wife, please? Like, can you come over? Can we go hang out with my wife and friends? And I was like, Sean Murphy, I know, I love you, I appreciate it, I'm a big fan of yours. No, I have to I have to wait to talk to this fucking. And then he goes, he's just a fucking drummer, dude. Like, then Murphy's now like busting my chops. He's like, what is he, like fucking Lars? I was like, he's way better than Lars, first of all. And then he's like, and then I explained to him, I'm like, okay, so this guy basically invented the double bass metal, like double bass drums. That's this guy. He fucking started. He invented it. And so I start like rattling off metal information, and he's like, you know a lot of shit about metal. And I was like, yeah, unfortunately. And then so then he's like asking me questions about, and actually, like a couple weeks before, he had DM'd me because the whole Stranger Things was going on, and everyone was like into metal now because of Stranger Things. They're into Metallica now. So I put up a funny like thing about like, welcome, new metalheads, welcome. Like a couple of phrases that you want to get used to. Number one, it should have been Lars is okay in jest. meaning that it shouldn't have been Cliff Burton that passed. It should have been Lars. We don't say that meaningfully. We say it jokingly. And then I mentioned a couple other things, and he DM'd me responding to that, and he's like, I don't like them after the Black Album. And then he starts talking, and we started talking about Metallica, and then he was asking me questions about metal. And then, long story short, now it's Murphy, Legends, me, and Kev Dog sitting at this table, and then Charlie finally comes over, and he's like, he doesn't know who to say to, but he's like, thank you guys. And I was like, I stand up, and I'm like, dude, I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want to interrupt you while you were eating, but I want to say thank you for, like, you know, all your music, and I'm super pumped for the tribute shows. Like, I'll be there as a fan. Like, I just fucking love you, man. Like, thank you for everything you've done for metal. And he's like, oh, it's so cool, man. That's, you know, you didn't have to do that. And he was super gracious and super nice. And then, like, Murphy's just, like, watching me, like, almost like, what a fucking nerd, you know? Like, Murphy's, like, looking at me and looking at the drummer. And then, so, I was like, I gotta tell you, dude, like, I'm being so rude to this guy right now because he's a rock star Batman artist. And then I'm like, sorry, Sean, I gotta say hi. And then Sean's like, yeah, to the literal rock star. And I was like, yeah, I gotta say it. But then that was cool because then, like, Charlie, like, so, if you don't know about Anthrax, a bunch of those guys have always been into comics, and one of their songs is called "I Am the Law," and it's about Judge Dredd. And so they do a lot of merch, and a lot of the singles they used Brian Boland Judge Dredd art, and so they know about comics and shit. And he's there doing a signing for an Anthrax comics that they just did for Z2, and so you know, so Sean and him like fist bump, and they start talking about comics, and that was fucking dope, dude. Like, Sean Murphy talking to Charlie Benante of Anthrax, and like they're talking about stuff, you know. And then so, you know, he leaves, and then shit. Yeah, and we, by the way, Charlie Benante is married to one of the singers of Butcher Babies. Google them, because they're attractive, anyways, and they're great musicians too. And so then we finally go over and we start talking to, and before that, Blake Northcott and Ming Chen like just stumble out of a room with like these giant duffel bags of Funko Pops, like the giant Funko Pop bags, and they had gone to the Funko party and just got swagged the fuck out by Funko, and so they're just in this bar carrying all this shit. So Blake Northcott was, and that was random, like we didn't expect to see her there, and so then we just, you know, we went over and we had drinks, and so the whole time, Legends has been dying for an opportunity to talk to Murphy about getting a commission. And so the photo that I took was like near the end of the night. So this is like, we're all sauced at this point. Like we've all had too much. I mean, I have.
This is 4 years in the making.
Yeah. So Murphy has been hounded by this guy for 4 years about, you know, commission. So finally, like I turn around at one point and I see them sitting across from me like this. I immediately snap this photo because it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And then in this, and then it's funny because I put it up on Instagram and I said, caption this, and Dunk responds. You responded by saying, if you draw me in the next issue of White Knight, that'll be an easy 10K that I spend because I have to have the art. And I said to you, it's scary how fucking close you are to what that conversation actually is. Because
I know my bros, man.
Yeah, they were talking about commissions and finally getting on Murphy's commission list, which is non-existent. So that was really fucking
year,
funny.
Right?
He used to only do 1 year. There might be an update coming on that.
Yeah, so I can't divulge the entire conversation of what was said, but I walked away with my head held high.
Yeah.
Good. You was like, this looked like a very intense conversation though, with the hand gesture, your arm around him, like you were making deals, bro.
That's it. Yeah. Look at Murphy's face too.
What can I say? I was going in for the kill.
Murphy's like, what do I say? Do I agree to this?
I don't think he has a choice from the looks of it.
That's funny.
I'm gonna have to print this on a pillow.
Clayman, if you're listening to this, Clayman, Blake Northcott did say that she heard Clayman's episode of Bat Force Radio, and she mentioned that, I mean, Clay was very open and divulged a lot of information about, you know, work and his process. And Blake said, I'm a huge Clayman fan. I want to get in touch with him. She's at heavy metal now. She's like, I really want him for some heavy metal projects I'm working on. So If you hear it, Clayman, Blake Northcott wants to link up and work together.
And Tammy Garcia said she wants to talk to you again, Tom. So she was, because I saw her and her
Oh, cool.
Sally. She was like, I really enjoyed that. She goes, you guys. She was, yeah, I have the new Constantine book coming out. She goes, I'd love to talk to them about it too.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
We'll get mentioned that at Awesome Con, and I was like, well, you got us. Just hit us up. Let us know. So
yeah, I think it was Friday. So also what happened on Friday is I was walking outside of the convention hall. I forget what I was doing. Maybe I was going to get food or put my books down at the hotel. But I'm walking out, and I see Mitch Garrett's. Mitch, and he's just waiting out there. Like, this actually might have been Thursday, because he's waiting outside the con, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, how's it going?" And he's like, "I just got here." I'm like, "You just got here?" He's like, "Yeah, I literally just got here. I'm waiting for someone to give me my badge." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Yeah." And we're talking to him, and then he goes, "Hey, you should have me back on to talk about the Riddler book." And then I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "We'll think about it." Just completely fucking busted his balls, and he laughed. He thought it was funny. But then
there's a waiting list.
Yeah, no, for sure we'll have him back. Yeah, so. But yeah, it was cool. And that's funny too. Is like I was telling the guys, like, walking around San Diego, I made sure to have like business cards and stuff. But half the time, I'm like saying hi to the artist, and it's like we've already had him on, so it's just a matter of like, do you got to come back on? That was cool.
Yeah, touching base.
Yeah,
that's big because you'd be well. It's not surprising, but pretty much anyone who's been on wants to come back on again. And then it's just like, oh, I'm working on this project. What's the fall look like? And I'm just like, just hit us up. I'm pretty sure we make time for you.
Yeah. So it was good though. Friday was nuts. Friday was crazy. I mean, like, every day of the con felt like, fuck, if this is all I got, like, that's good. Like, I'm happy. It's so much shit happening.
How was so Thursday and Friday, a lot happened. Obviously, you guys have been conning enough or know the ins and outs of the Comic Cons in order to like get the majority of things done. But what was like Saturday like for San Diego? Because like Saturday tends to be the day, but like I personally feel that Saturday's the day that everyone's there, whether it's the creators, the cosplayers, all the booths. Like Friday's the day that everyone knows about. Like, how was this Saturday? Saturday's the day. So like, how was this Saturday compared to like the first 2 days? Did it feel like that, like overwhelming, or was it like jam packed, shoulder to shoulder?
I always make a plan. Go ahead, Nando.
Sorry. Saturday was, I don't know. Saturday was kind of super low key almost for me. We started in the morning with Todd again, so we got Todd. He signed the Spectral Comics black and white trade dress that you got me. He signed that one Saturday morning. Yeah, that was that one. I asked him to sign it in gold. He was like, nah, the red is better. I was like, okay.
You say
I'm not gonna argue with Todd. And then we tried to do the Marvel booth to get the Ash autograph session. We didn't get it, but then there was the scavenger hunt to do it, and two of my guys from Comic Cave, they did it and they got it, so they were able to get that done. But then I got a Jock signature, and then a Capullo signature, and then I think it was just I actually was bin diving on Saturday because I had already gotten everything done on Friday and Thursday. So Saturday was really easy for me, and I went home Saturday night. Didn't go.
Wait,
Sunday, so
I didn't even
Saturday
get to
was light.
talk. I didn't even get to tell you guys about my Friday night.
Friday night was a short box party too.
Well, there was like there. I mean, just to backtrack on what Tom was saying, like Friday was like I felt like the first party night, like because you had everyone in town, and everyone's like, we got to go out, like people are not inclined to go out on a Thursday, but Friday night, I know, a lot of people went to. There's this really great app on, I think it's on Android and it's also on iPhone, where you can sell CGC and CBCS labs, and it's called Shortbox, and they had an event for attendees. I forget the name of the venue, but it was pretty close to the convention center, and I know a lot of people went to that, and I'm pretty sure they also gave out or gifted hex bags at that event as well.
Yeah, they give out bags
and
shirts.
A lot of my
bags
friends
will make her dance.
Yeah, a lot of my friends like that. But I will say, yeah, that's the wristband. Friday night for me was probably the best night of my life. And I was able to go to both Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane have Discords, which you can join. And they regularly interact with their fans on there. Todd's is a little bit different because it's more NFT based. Regardless of what you guys think of crypto or NFT, Todd, at least in the past, like since the pandemic, has been sort of pushing for NFTs and digital art. You know, Todd doesn't even draw traditionally anymore. He's been drawing digitally for the past, I want to say for the past 10 years or more. But he's a big supporter of the NFT format for his own art and also for other artists. But I was able to go to a dinner. I don't know if Jim, I don't know if you have the photos.
Nah, it actually didn't populate.
Dave, but I was able to go to a dinner with Jim, which was really cool. So it was for basically active Discord members. So Jim, not like Todd, has had a Twitch, which I'm sure you guys have seen, where he streams a lot of his art. And for the past 2 years, he's done, I'm sure you guys are aware of the 60 for 60 benefit he did to benefit comic shops. So all the artwork that he streamed, he sold on eBay, and all that money went to support comic book stores. But I got to go to like a really private event with Jim on Friday, which was like, I don't know, it was just, sometimes you have these experiences or you get things from shows where you just, I can't believe that happened. But I was able to have dinner with Jim and I think about like 16 to 17 other fans. So that was really cool. And he didn't draw for anybody, but he did sign a couple books for everyone. And then immediately after, I went to sort of an NFT event for NFT holders with Todd. And that was like, I had mentioned my bike, which was super important for me for the show, because if I didn't have my bike, I wouldn't be able to sort of lug everything around. So I was able to go to and from the hostel I was staying at, drop off books, pick up books. And I got to go to this event with Todd that was from 7 p.m. until 1 a.m. in the morning.
Holy crap.
Like, it was maybe, I want to say, less than 20 people there. Oh, and I didn't even get to mention. So on top of that.
But wait, there's more.
On top of that. See, a lot of people don't think that this is a big deal, but it is. But Todd's fans, like, and you guys know this, like Todd's fans, like he's the only person who does like tickets in the morning for signings. So like Todd's fans are super passionate, and that's whether or not
for one
like,
sig.
For one signature. Now that's now whether you're a Spider-Man fan or a Venom fan or a Spawn fan. But I found generally, like in the past couple of years, most of like Todd's fans that I, have run into, and I'm not gatekeeping or anything, but I feel like a lot of fans are sort of trying to reliving their first exposure to artists. So I know Tom can agree with me. Like he probably saw more X-Men comics he saw Jim sign than Batman comics. And I know that a lot of creators, specifically Jim and Todd, are probably seeing these books come by. But Todd has always been like one of those people who sort of pushes forward and sort of like, I did that like 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So another, just to like bounce off the whole aspect of digital art and NFTs. But I was able to win this, like, it's in my room, but like this solid gold Spawn coin, which was only given to the creators.
It's pretty dope.
Only given to the creators who had worked on 300.
Oh,
the only
yeah.
people who have that are, and I don't know if you guys have Spawn 300 or 301, but there's 20 or some odd creators who worked on.
Uh-oh.
No.
the covers and the interiors, who is the editor of Spawn, has been sort of posting this collectible for the past year and a half. And if you go back, you can see me annoy this dude in every single Instagram comment on how I need to get it. And I was able to get it on Friday afternoon. But that's on top of it was like a scavenger hunt sort of in / trivia. Thank God I knew the answer to the trivia question. But aside from that, earlier in the morning, I was able to get a drawing from Jendi Tartakovsky. And I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's basically the creative talent director, writer of so much, like Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, the first season of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated series, which existed in a 2-minute format on the Cartoon Network. He was promoting Primal, so I was able to be the only person who was able to get a sketch from him. And my one regret during the pandemic was that I gave up an opportunity to see him. And every day of the pandemic, I was like, I should have met this guy at New York Comic Con. I should have met this guy at New York Comic Con. You know, how many times have we thought about like, oh man, I wish I had said hi to George Perez one last time, or Neil Adams one last time. So my main goal of that was to like get a drawing from him. But I had fucking dinner with Jim Lee for 2.5 hours, and I got to hang out with Todd McFarlane with 20 other people from 7 o'clock until 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was like,
and that coin.
And he spent 30 to 45 minutes talking to every single person. I mean, like I said, if you ever have a chance to like go to one of Todd's panels, no matter how busy you are, you have to go to it. And I'm sure all you guys have gone to a Todd panel at some point, but it's like very energizing and very inspirational. But yeah, I was doing that. And then immediately after, I went to the Hilton and hung out with some of my friends in the bar at the Hilton. But I had texted Dunk in the morning and also Tom, like Instagram photos. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And it was just like, it was like one of those, we all have like this convention experience and we all have unique experiences, but I know that each and every one of us is like, man, I was like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I saw this person. I can't believe I got this book. I can't believe I got this sign, you know, but
yeah, you were sending me pictures. I was at poker and I'm on my phone, and one of the rules in poker is you don't have your phone on the table. I tell everyone, shut the fuck up. San Diego Comic-Con weekend, I'm not there. I got to watch all this shit. So I was just like, just getting blasted with it.
You have the picture of the Batman and the salad?
Well, the video is, so the video is better because I'm in my hotel.
Tomorrow. I'll post it.
Yeah. I'm in the hotel room and like, I just get this text message from Risley and he's like, dude. He's like, all it was, dude. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? And he sends this video, no context. And all it is, it's like a Blackest Night cosplayer sitting at a table. And then it pans out and Jim Lee is in like a nice suit, like a sports coat, like feeding him spaghetti. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, can I share that?
What the fuck is this?
Jim posted it on his Instagram, I think on Sunday or Monday, but I'll post the full video once the podcast goes up to promo it. But it was pretty fucking funny. But yeah, I had a really good Friday night. And like after my Friday, I was like, I can retire from shows and be happy. But then Saturday happened and Sunday happened. And, you know, we all had like,
hold on,
a lot of fucking fun.
Can't show all that. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, my Friday was solid. It was a solid Friday.
Everything's blurry. God damn it. I gotta fix that first.
You gotta do HD, man.
Nah, because I have the blurry background. I'm showing people my shit. We could play it afterwards, like towards the end, like play clips of the show of everything you guys went through that we could share. So you had quite the fucking Friday, Riz.
Yeah, I had a really good Friday. My Friday was, like I said, I had, and I was talking about this actually with a lot of people. It's like, it's not about, you know, the exclusives you get. It's not about the art you get. It's not about the signatures you get. It's about the experience that you have. And I definitely had an amazing experience top to bottom at San Diego this year. You know, I only got like 12 books signed. I got a few pieces of artwork, but I do know that I walked away with the best possible experience. And, you know, I remind myself all the time, I'm like, hey, this is like a thing that's supposed to be fun. And I think sometimes that when we do these shows, sometimes we get caught up in like, oh man, I didn't get this exclusive, or I didn't get this signature, or I didn't get this artwork. But at the end of the day, that I know that like I was having a fucking blast with my friends, you know, and seeing creators. And, you know, I walked away almost every single day. Being like, man, this is like the best weekend of my life. But yeah, it was a pretty sick Friday for me. I wish I was there when Todd and Murphy met along with Chip Kidd. But that was my Friday.
I think what was awesome too is like I don't remember the last time feeling like I brought a stack of books. Like I brought stacks of books, and I remember being like, if I get one or two of these signed, and I can't remember the last time, at least for San Diego, where like I brought, shout out Hexbrand, shout out Hexbag, hexbrand.com. Because the bag, no joke, like I was able to carry so much shit, so I brought all my Batman, Gotham After Midnight, Kelly Jones, and I got them all signed by Steve Niles. So like every issue of this miniseries, I think it's a 12 issue. It's a 12 issue miniseries. So I got all 12 issues signed by Steve Niles, and some of these covers are so fucking sick by Kelly Jones. And then this one is just like so disgusting. Kelly Jones. And Steve Niles signed all of them, man. It was like it's super rare to be able to get one creator to sign. There he is. One creator to sign like 12 books. You know, you don't want to be the asshole in line with like a long box. But because there's such opportunity, there were so many opportunities to get things signed by so many people. Yeah. There was like barely any line. Steve Niles is a horror comic writing legend, and it was like so easy to get to him. Shout out to Steve Niles. We told him about the Kelly Jones annual Halloween party that we do, and he's down to come on with Kelly Jones for Halloween. So yeah,
that would be dope.
But I don't know. What is there anything that happened? Like I also got all my Murder Falcon variants signed. Another example of like how Daniel Warren Johnson was just like everywhere, and so I was able to get all of my metal variants. There's the Iron Maiden, there's the Megadeth. So for that series, there's a bunch of variants like with different homages to metal covers. But like, what's something that happened that you were like, "Fuck, I can't believe I was able to do that"? I mean, Sean obviously with the dinner and the Todd thing, but for me, it was getting all of my Steve Niles books and getting all of my Daniel Warren books. I was like, fuck, I didn't think I was going to be able to do that.
Definitely Murphy's experience was a lot. It was a lot of fun with Clay and Katana at the table. You know, Dave has this thing about he brings cupcakes when they're in the East Coast, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to get cupcakes and I'm going to bring them in, you know, just to keep the traditions going, right? But I was like, man, I don't have time to get cupcakes, but I do have a whiskey bottle I can give him. So Saturday's cupcakes, right? So it went Saturday morning when he started his signings at 12 or something. I was like, "Look, you already signed all the books I brought. I can't ask you for anything more. You know, I can, but I'm not going to because I don't want to go that far and stuff right now. But I wanted you to have this, you know, continued success and you know all the good stuff like that." And he was like, he opened it, and I think this was the morning after you guys like got him trashed. So he probably looked at it and was like, oh. He looked at it and he was like, he like pulls it out and he starts reading the bottle in front of Clay and he goes, look, he just gave us this. And he was like, Clay looks at it and he goes, fuck yeah. So it was like, he was like, man, you didn't have to, but thank you. And I'm like, all right. So when you go East Coast, you get cupcakes. When you come West Coast, you get whiskey. There you go.
Rad.
That's awesome.
The short box event was a lot of fun. It wasn't close to the convention center.
Oh, was it?
It was a Punch Bowl Social, so that was a good like 2.5 miles up north, towards the north end of downtown. So I didn't realize how far away it was, even though I used to live in San Diego. And I walked it. So when I got there, I was like, I need a minute to cool off. Yeah, I know I could have. At one point in time, I was like, I'm just gonna get one of those little bike taxis to take me.
Oh yeah.
But I forgot to. I didn't do that. But
Pedicab.
yeah, but I was like, it was great. It was really cool to see the different tiers, I guess you could say, of people who are on like Shortbox, but are also on YouTube and different comic shows.
Okay.
There was like Hood Rat Comics was there, Past Point Comics was there, Bronze and Gold Comics was there, Godly Comics was on there, Doctor Comics was there. Then you had, D Comic Queen was there, Natalie, and then you had guys like Nerdy Girl was there. You had One True Nerd King was there. So all these like Instagram and YouTube comic people were actually there. So it was like kind of like a who's who of IG, which was interesting. And just seeing the different personalities come in, like Jordan was there, so he was in the building over there too.
My homie.
Yeah, so it was just a big, and to kind of be in that crowd with it was really interesting because I didn't think that I was going to be in that. But that was a lot of fun. That was open bar and free food, and the food was actually pretty good. So that was really nice.
Shortbox doesn't mess around when they have those parties.
No, and Shortbox is going to host. Well, Shortbox is hosting and CaliCon in February, on February 5th, in Costa Mesa. So they're sponsoring it. They're the ones doing it. So it's going to be a big deal. That's like next year. And then there's swag bag. They had like you get like a trade. There's a couple exclusive singles. I got a couple of the Twig singles from Scotty Young. That were in my bag. There's some stickers, like the little Shortbox enamel pins, different things like that were in your bag that everybody got. So that was kind of cool. Then they were giving away some slabs throughout the show and some T-shirts, obviously, because everybody that was walking around with one of those black and white Shortbox tees, people got those. And then after that, I was able to get into the Dungeons and Dragons bar event. Like I got tickets to that one too.
How about that?
That was kind of fun. There was no swag, nothing like that. It was just kind of themed out and decked out. So it was kind of cool just to see it. But Friday, like you guys were saying, Friday was your best night. Friday was incredible. I ran into so many people, so many different things. Friday night was probably the climax of the entire con for me. Like Friday was just the best day.
I ran into Tinian. I went to the Hilton afterwards, and I was hanging out with a couple friends of mine, and they had left. And then I turn around, and James Tinian was standing right next to me. And we've known Tinian for so long,
Yeah.
And I was like, and we had all found out that he had won, I think, 3 Eisners that night or something like that. I was like, dude, congrats. I was like, it's so good seeing you. I was like, I can't believe, because we all have known Tinian for a very long time, but Tinian's career path in terms of, March of 2020 up until now has catapulted into, something bigger than, God bless him, that Scott Snyder is, and we all know this. And Scott knows this. And I was just like, James, I was like, I had never imagined in a million years that like your career would sort of like be where it is right now. I was like, you're at the top of the game. So yeah, my last like hour of the evening, my Friday into my Saturday morning, I was like, well, shit, dude. I was like, so good seeing you. I'm pretty sure I ran into you guys too, right? On like Friday night, Kev Dog and Legend. Definitely Saturday. But
definitely Saturday. I don't think Friday.
I didn't run into you guys on Friday. I mean,
I'm like, there was a story I saw where you guys were in there, so it was either Saturday or Friday night.
Yeah, we definitely.
There was a lot of alcohol involved, apparently.
Yeah, like I mean, for me there was.
That was like, Saturday for sure.
Okay, so maybe it was Saturday, but yeah, my end of my night, like I was like, then I went home. I was like, I have to end this. This is too unreal. But yeah, there was just so much going on. I mean, Tom said it. It's like, there's so much going on at the show. There's so much going on after the show. Whether it's like an event or you're meeting up with friends or it's a party. It was just like I was just like there was just so much to choose from. I mean, I remember like I literally forced myself to do something every single day because I didn't want to, go home or go back to where I was staying and be like, oh man, I wish I had gone out. But like I went hard every night. Like I was out until 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. from like Thursday until Saturday. And
Fuck that.
Like I said before, it was like the best weekend of my life.
Yeah, I'm already at the hotel by like 10 at any con. I'm like, nah, yo.
It wouldn't happen at San Diego. That's the thing. It's like there's just so much opportunity.
That's what I'm
there's
training
so much
for,
like,
guys.
you know, you
can't
don't
pass up
know
anything.
unless you're there, like, because like you're just
Too
like,
much of San Diego.
Like this is gonna happen. Like we get to do
After
this.
the con is when it begins.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. It's like
I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
After 7 o'clock.
After-con is the after-con.
After 7 o'clock is when it really happens. You know, that's where all these stories happen.
You'll end up sacrificing at least one morning because of the night before.
Yeah.
For that's how San Diego is. Like you'll just end up doing something for way too long and drinking way too much.
You're just gonna sacrifice a Todd Sig. Just that's all you gotta know.
Yep, pretty much.
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have
Or
to go
Frank
at 11
Sig.
a.m. Like I can't get up at 8. You know, it's like I'll just go into the convention center at noon. It's like
That's what's nuts is like there's so much happening that like you're like I'm not gonna have a chance for Frank Miller's. I'm not gonna have a chance for Todd. And it's like massive people that you're passing up because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Massive. So
yeah, the Murphy conversation was my highest priority going into San Diego Comic-Con. That's all I'm gonna say.
It sounds like it was mission complete.
We'll
So, like,
see. Time will tell.
So like from the sounds of it, at the end of the day, I know we only got to like Friday because like Saturday, but like from the sound of it, it was a successful con for everyone.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you like, I think you could ask everybody, but like, by Thursday evening, I'm like, holy fuck! If all I get is Thursday, like,
everyone felt like that.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, just it was amazing. It was just like it was fucking incredible. Like all the shit that we got into, everyone. You know, I saw Nando. When did I see you at the Jock signing? Was that Saturday? I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday at.
It's like 2
Saturday.
o'clock. Like Jock was like at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and
Saturday afternoon.
There was like two people in front of me.
Yeah, I saw Nando at the Comixology booth, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And he's like, "I'm so fucking tired." Like he couldn't even he could barely lift his eyes open.
How you doing? I was like, oh, I wanted him last night.
It was autopilot. It was all autopilot.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. So yeah, so like that was right after I had just grabbed my Jock 89 Nicholson Joker, and I had literally just gone to the booth, and I had seen that. That's fucking incredible too, though.
That's amazing.
It's the Sienkiewicz.
So good.
Yeah, that one. That one was just like an amazing
that
piece.
Looks familiar.
That looks so dope, but I just want to take a picture. Cat dog.
That's so pretty.
So Dave Johnson had this piece at Essential Sequential, and I saw him post it on. I saw somebody post it. Maybe Legends showed it to me. Like, oh, look at this piece. That is such a fucking cool piece. Like, I'm like, that looks like almost like a Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein piece, almost.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so sick. But it was going for like 10K, right?
I could stay there.
Yeah. But yeah, so Saturday afternoon, I finally saw the Jock Nicholson Joker sketch cover. I went down to the booth. I grabbed a CGC rep, picked it up, took a picture of it, just kind of soaked it up for a little bit, and then immediately just sent it to CGC. And I was like, and it's funny because I went over to the booth with the rep, and the rep's like, okay, here's the guy who, like, you go over with the rep, and I forget how it works, but the witness or the rep takes you over to the Signature Series booth, and once you're at the Signature Series booth, a different person puts it in the bag and helps you fill out the paperwork. So the guy's like been doing 100 of them, probably more than that all day long. And so he like opens the bag and he opens up my sketch, and then this was so rad. He opens up and he goes, "Oh!" Like the audible gasp from this guy of like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Wow!" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "That's gonna look real nice, graded on a yellow label." I'm like, "Yeah." So that was
Then
that
Tom
was my
wouldn't want to give it up. Tom was literally looking at it for like 5 minutes, making the line back
Yeah.
pile.
Wait, what day? Oh no, that's right. So it never left the con,
Saturday.
right? It went straight to CGC.
No, it's on its way to CGC right now.
Because I remember the
but-
one story when these guys were just staring at their commissions, and in the room, and you're like, "I'm just
Oh, the
watching
video.
these guys."
Yeah. So, well, before I get off from the Jock thing, I'll go to that one. But so Jock was at the Comicsology booth, and I had my mask on. So I said, "What's up to Jock?" I'm like, "Hey, man, thanks for the commission." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure," and just quick bye. And then later that night on Saturday, we saw Jock at he walked into the bar, and then so I saw him at the bar again, and I went over. He sat outside of the bar. And so I went outside and I tapped him on the. He was like sitting on a couch. Like when I tapped him on the shoulder, he had to turn and look at me like this, and he was kind of like looking at me upside down because he's like on this couch looking at me like this. And then I was like, "Thank you so much for the Nicholson Joker, blah blah blah." And he was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And then later the next day when I posted it, he DM'd me and he goes, "Oh, I didn't know that was you." He didn't recognize me from like I guess Friday night. And it's funny because like when I tapped him on the shoulder, I could tell that he didn't recognize me, and I'm like, he just thinks I'm some fucking weirdo fan like creeping on him. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, so you know how you have sometimes like fuck, you're like, oh man, that was cringy. I hope I didn't bother him. I hope he wasn't weirded out by me. I hope that wasn't a bad interaction. And then I got that DM from him. And I'm like, oh, thank God, everything's all right. But yeah, but I mean that Jock piece was like, fuck, so rad.
Very good.
Oh, and then the fucking Saturday night auction was insane. Like we didn't talk about that at all.
Well, I could finally.
We had all planned to go to the auction, and there was like a preview auction on Thursday night. So I kept. Oh, and we didn't even say what was going to happen because Jim on his Instagram was working on. There was a kind of a catalog of all the pieces that would be available at the show on Saturday online if you looked. I forget if it was like on Facebook or if it was on Twitter, but you could preview basically the whole collection that was available for sale. And there was definitely like some cool pieces. You know, there was Jason picked up a really cool piece that was previewed. But Jim, Jim had posted a piece that he was working on Friday on Instagram, and it was a Sandman piece with an actual Neil Gaiman inscription, a poem that he had written. And we're like, if this is going to be on sale at the show, we have to go to the show. Like, if this is going to be on sale at the auction, we have to go to the auction. So I think Friday night, almost immediately after Jim had posted that piece, I think we all were messaging each other as like, yeah, like the auction is the place to be. Like we need to be at this auction on Saturday night. And I remember I had gone to an event. We all had like kind of like a really great show experience, whether it be getting autographs or signatures on Saturday. But for my Saturday, I had planned to go to the art auction. I think it started at like 7 or 8 or something like that.
It was supposed to start at 8, but it got a late start.
Yeah. So, and then I had another commitment for a different party that night. I had gone to Bad Idea, if you guys know what that is. It's like a kind of like a indie comic book publisher. They were having an event really fucking far. It was like actually, I feel like it was like 6 miles north of the convention center. And I had to leave the show early, and I biked to the
holy crap.
And then I biked all the way back, and Tom was texting everyone like the pieces that were at the show. So I had stayed at that party up until I think like 8:30 or so, and then I biked back in time to like basically make the actual because like I wasn't there for the first part, but they had all the pieces sort of laid out in this room that was at the Hilton, this really large room, and you could put in silent bids. So some of the pieces I think would go like for the silent bid auction, and then some of the pieces were an actual live auction. And I don't know, maybe like Jason or Kevin or Tom want to talk about the live auction, but my Friday night was good. But I'll be real with you, the Saturday night, spending time with these guys at that auction it was like you had to have been there, because it was just like there was something in the air where it was like, even though we were like ridiculously tired and our feet felt like they were on fire, like there was something that once that auction started, like every single one of us lost our shit. And mind you, like, Comic-Con draws a very large array of a type of people. There's a certain, like, there's young and there's old, but like the guys had a table on the corner of the auction area, and we were literally, I had to tell these guys to be quiet because like, we were
the kids. We were the kids table.
Screaming. We were screaming. We were losing it. But like the demographic for that audience was definitely, we're our age, but like the demo for that audience was like probably like 10 years older, 10 to 15 or 20 years older than us.
At least like 40 to 50 art collectors. They were dressed nice.
Dressed nice, and then it's us in the corner.
Yeah, I was there in my Hellfire shirt.
Actually buying stuff.
And sweatpants.
Losing our shit. But I had to tell them, like, guys, like, you gotta, like, calm down. But then, like, we just got, like, let Tom tell the story.
It started we were all very, like, there's a video I posted of when we first walked in, and one of the hosts, like, we were pretty early. They were still setting up both the silent auction and the live auction. And so when we walked in, one of the hosts, in a very nice green blazer, was like holding the Jim Lee piece, and he was like explaining the rules to us. And we look the way we look now. Like we were. I think maybe I was wearing like my button up.
At a Comic-Con.
Yeah, but we looked like dudes at a Comic-Con. But this guy, hats off to this guy. He made us feel like royalty. He was holding the Jim Lee piece like on a platter, and he was like, so the live auction rules are that you will be auctioning live, but there is also going to be a representative for the internet auction. And it's just like explaining it, showing us the Jim Lee piece, like we're asking questions. And so first part of the auction started off like, really like casual, reserved. And then by the time we got to like the David Finch piece and then the Jim Lee piece, like we had taken over that room. Like we like everyone was, it was like Kev Dog, a couple of Legends and Kev Dog's buddies that they had. Like, it's what's fucking awesome is that Legends and Kev Dog have befriended people from other cons and other high-end collectors, that like there was three different groups of younger like dudes that like just throw money, they're just burning shit to just get like these pieces, right? But you could tell that they're having so much fun with it. And like I can't describe, like it was just fun. It was so much fucking fun, like to duke it out, to watch these guys go head to head, like to get excited about it. And the thing is it was also really the rest of the room, it was like, what's the word I'm looking for? They caught it too, you know what I mean? Yep. It excited the rest of the room. And so at one point, I completely forgot about this, but at one point they made me go up to the front of the room and like read the quote by Neil Gaiman off of the Jim Lee piece.
There was the host was, shout out to Arsenal Comics, was a comic book store owner.
What's his shop?
Arsenal Comics.
I'm following it right now.
Yeah, so Arsenal Comics, the owner of that store, very nice kid.
He's young as fuck.
Yeah, very young.
To own a shop.
But he was the auctioneer.
Very green auctioneer.
I mean, he would tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Aside from that, basically, like Tom said, like they, the piece that everyone wanted and the piece that was like, all right, this is going to be the last piece of the night, was the Jim Lee Neil Gaiman piece. And at one point, this auction's being stretched out. It should have been shorter, but I understand why they were stretching out, for
charity,
the theatrics, the charity. But at one point, like right in the middle of the auction, like they're bringing the piece to us. Like we are the table that's like bidding like for this piece. Like it's like, yeah, like we're not being cool about it. It's like, this is the bid, we're gonna win this piece.
Yeah.
And they
Kev Dog was bidding, and like everybody else was like the hype man.
yeah. And then
He had like 6 or 7 hype men.
and they bring the piece over to Tom, and we're all just like looking at it. And at one point, like
Too many. As he's with a
this-
Kev Dog.
this woman, this
Bedside.
woman,
Jesus Christ.
this piece, she has this beautiful piece. Tom literally, he's like having a dialogue with the owner of Arsenal, and he's like, "Why don't you come up and say the poem?" And then Tom grabs the mic. I don't know if you grabbed the mic from the girl showing off the piece.
No, she handed me, because the guy had the mic. She hands me the Jim Lee, Neil Gaiman art. She puts it in my hand. The piece they're auctioning off, that at this point is at what, like 9,000, like 9,500,
No.
I think.
It was more like at that point when you had it was like 6 or 7.
Okay, so
it didn't reach that amount. It didn't reach that amount, but it's
so
still very high.
they're trying to get it up to 10K. It's around 6 or 7. She just gives it to me, and they're like, go up there and read the thing. So I have this thing in my hand, and I start walking to the front, and then I turn and I just make a beeline for the exit, and I just start running out of the exit. And then people are gasping and laughing, and then I stop. I pretended to fucking steal it. And then I stop myself, and I go back on the stage, and I'm live streaming this on the Bad Force the whole time.
I remember that.
And oh my god, like shout out Eamon Winkle and shout out a bunch of other people who afterwards DM'd me, and they were like, that was the funniest shit we ever saw. Like,
you had
like
that, aside from everything that happened at the show, I think we can all agree that 30 minutes to hour of that live auction was like something that you just had to have been there, because so many things and interactions happened between every single person who was there, where it was just like, I can't believe this is happening. It was just this moment that just felt like so much fun.
There's about 18 minutes of it on the Bad Force. I think we kept the live on there. So pretty much from like the moment that it got around to like 6K up until the end, I think is up there. So you can go check it out on there. But it's like, yeah, it was just so many funny fucking moments. And my favorite is like, Legends, what's your buddy's? He got the Spider-Man piece. Was it in Charlotte?
Oh
Heroes
yeah. What's his name?
Vitruvian.
Yeah,
so
there you
go. So one time after
I think it's actually Aranga is his.
After Heroes Con, he told me, he's like, oh, we went to this auction, and he goes, the original art game is no joke, and he sends me this video of the winning bidder on a Spider-Man piece that he was going head to head on, and he's holding the Spider-Man piece and he's giving the DX chop to Legends, like fuck you, like. Oh my god. So I got to meet that guy, and I told him, like, dude, I fucking love you. I'm still laughing at that fucking video of you giving the DX chop to the losing bidder for the Spider-Man piece.
The auction was probably one of the best.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So much fucking fun.
It was so much fun.
And then we hit the bars after that, and it was just hitting the bars, talking to a bunch of the writers, this time at the Hilton.
Everyone there.
Yeah, there was a ton of people there. It was fun. It was really fun.
Kenyon was there.
Temple Smith.
That's when you guys all had it on your stories, because that's when I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck, I'm here.
Saturday was definitely legendary. Like, it was definitely felt like a group, like a big, massive
big hang.
Yeah, it felt like a big hang. Like, I don't remember how I got back to the place that I was staying at. Like, I woke up in my clothes. I was like, I had, like, you guys know me, like, I don't drink that much, but, like, I was just like, keep coming. But
everything is awesome.
Dude, everything was awesome.
It was just like, it felt like Saturday was the cherry on the cake. Like,
there was like so much good, positive energy in the air where everyone was just like, it just, like I said before, like every day felt like a high school reunion, you know, like it felt like, you know, high school that you wanted to go to, but it felt like, you know, we hadn't seen our friends for so long, you know, we hadn't seen these people that we used to see like 3, 4, 5 times a year. And then we're finally at this one place and we're all together and we're doing all the stuff we love during the daytime. We get to hang out all together at nighttime. Dude, it was just like, there's an epic weekend, you know, and that was just Saturday, you know.
So I need an 8-ball for a New York
Yeah,
Comic-Con.
Saturday was so loaded with talent at the Hilton. Like every 5 feet you would walk by and you'd be talking to somewhere else, whether it was Daniel Warren or Graham D or Tom Taylor.
That's sick.
Yeah, Jock was there. Dustin was there. Sean Murphy was there at that one as well.
So everyone was just chilling.
Yeah, it was chilling. I mean, a lot of people stay at the Hilton. So
James Tynan was there. Everybody was there. That was like the spot on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's the closest like hotel / you know, bar you want to be at that's near the convention center. It's like the easiest thing to go to, you know, and it's also open. So like there's an outside area and there's an inside area. And then within the hotel, people are just hanging out in the hotel. And, you know, it's not just talent. It's just like there's also cosplayers hanging out. You know, there's cosplayers, just regular convention goers, you know.
So we went there right from the art auction, and I had no place to put the art that I just won, so I had it on me the entire night.
Just hugging it?
Got a little bit bent up, but it's all about the memories.
Sounds like my auction win at Heroes, going to the bars with Erica Slaughter.
At least you had a hard sleeve, I think.
I did. I believe I did.
Yeah, those are crucial, man. Those top loaders, you need them.
Yeah, that was a rookie mistake.
So after Saturday, like, did you guys like go back on Sunday or just called it?
Of course.
We went.
Of course. It's San Diego, man.
And look at the itinerary.
Sunday. Oh yeah, Sunday was just more McFarlane, Silvestri. Yeah, it was just like more or less like
just clean up.
Yeah, just the other thing. Sunday generally at most shows, it's like kind of like the slow day. So Sunday was just, you know, it was like chill. It felt a lot like Thursday, you know, where you could just like, you know, also the thing with Thursday is like sometimes people only do half a day. So if you don't see a talent at a table, you go to the next table or another booth. But yeah, it was just like another solid Sunday. A lot of it was like telling about the stories that happened on Saturday, you know, catching up with people. But yeah, it was just, I think more or less like a good, easy day to, you know, get, you know, whatever books you want autographed or pick up some random art. But maybe like kind of nursing a hangover, which I had the first part of the morning. But yeah, Sunday it was a chill day. Like there's like, it's impossible to sort of, you know, and I know Dave was on the other side of this, you know, getting messages or in groups with us, but like it's impossible to explain in any way, whether it be a photo or a video or a story or this podcast, of how incredible the show was. You know, it's like we can go on these little 10-minute, 15-minute stories or have a picture or have a video, but you're never going to be kind of explain. Like we all have gone to so many shows, but I think we can all agree there's never been a show like this. There's never been a San Diego like this. You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with a culmination of not doing it for 2 years. And I feel like a lot of the talent was ultra friendly and ultra giving back because of like being away from this experience that, you know, a lot of us took for granted that we didn't have for like so long. So I think like that buildup of those missing years was all like crammed into this one weekend. And this, you know, every Sunday felt like 3 Sundays crammed together. Every Saturday felt like 3 Saturdays crammed together. And
I think to add to that, the other thing is, since we lost so many people in the comic world, it's also like you don't know how many more times you could have this moment.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone was just in it, you know. And
Yeah.
you had the pandemic. We lost Perez. We lost Adams. You know, we
Tim
just
Sale.
lost. Yeah, we just lost Tim Sale, and everyone's like, you just don't know was the next time everyone's going to be together like this, and it's just appreciating it a lot more. So I'm sure that with the combo of the pandemic and that, everyone was just in the mood, man. It's like, yo, finally, we could finally do this.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed and that people have said is like San Diego has gotten away from the comics and has gotten more towards like pop culture and movies and TV. There was definitely still a lot of that. I mean, you could tell you're walking around outside, that's all there is. It's more pop culture stuff. But maybe just because that's what I was focused on, it felt this was one of the first years in a long time where like I was only seeing comic stuff. Like I was only seeing creators. I was only making time for comics and comic artists and books and autographs and all that. Yes, there were other things out there, but like it felt like because there was no DC, no Marvel booth, the creators were at multiple opportunities, multiple days where they were just more accessible. It just felt more comic heavy this year. And did we tell a story about Rob Liefeld?
Oh
Nope.
shit! I have Rob Liefeld.
We cannot.
We all have Rob Liefeld stories.
Well, let's tell the one that we're all involved in. So, what day was it when you guys grabbed your piece? What day was it when you guys grabbed your pieces? Friday?
I believe it was Friday.
So Friday, Legends and Kev Dog are like, we got to go get our Rob Liefeld commissions, and then we're like, all right. So Sean and I happened. Were we all together when we picked them up with him? Maybe, but we found you at least at some point in Artist Alley. So we went down there to pick up the Liefeld commissions for Kev Dog and Legends, and
Actually, Kev Dog had picked his up the day before.
Oh, okay. Kev Dog picked up Kev Dog picked up a fucking legendary Captain America. I mean, like, this Captain America is so fucking dope. I told him like, it looks like an action figure, design. That if you told Liefeld, hey, can you please design this action figure, and he drew out the design, that's what this commission looks like. It looks like a fucking Captain America action figure, Rob Liefeld design. So he did that one, and then Friday? We went with Legends to go pick up his Cable commission, and that one, I mean, was super dope as well. It's Cable with and he told you, he's like, I'm gonna. Did he tell you that he was gonna do the gun?
Yeah,
the gun
yeah.
sword?
He's like, I drew him like this, and I gave him a fucking gun sword.
And sure enough, he's fucking like this, and he's got a fucking sword, and the hilt is a gun, right? And it's a double bladed sword with a hilt that's a gun. And so we're with him, and I filmed it as Legends gets it, and like, you know, we're fucking gun sword, and Rob's like, had to do the gun sword, had to do it. And then so he picks up the piece, like, all right, enjoy. So we walk away, and you know, we're walking around Artist Alley. I think we like went to go get. I think that was when you went, and you guys both picked up a piece from Scott Williams. I got stuff signed by Scott Williams, got stuff signed by Sync. And on the way back from that, we head back. We weren't planning to go see Rob, but we were like just so happened to walk by his booth again, and it was right as it was like the heaviest time of his. He was a signing. It was the heaviest time of his signing. It was like a massive line with the people with the signs, and we're just so happened to walk by all at the same time, and you know, we're not even like stopping to say hi to him, and he looks over. And he sees Legends and Kev Dog and me and Risley, and he goes, my commission guys, my boys, right? And he goes, I love you guys. And his whole line turns and looks at us. I haven't spent a fucking dime on this guy. And he calls us all collectively his commission boys. My commission guys, my boys, I love you guys. I felt like I had the biggest fucking dick on that convention floor. I felt 10 fucking feet tall, and I didn't give this guy a dime. Like, mad props to Rob Liefeld. Like, It was so legendary. And like I remember I turned and Sean's like, why wasn't I filming that? I should have filmed like it was
I was that. I was like, why did I get this on video?
Oh my god, it was like I felt like
Riz?
Yeah, I told you, like, you gotta get a GoPro, and it's when like I swear to God, it felt like are we like the homecoming kings? Like, what's going on?
Like Rob Liefeld's giving us a shout out.
Yeah, that's what in the middle of fucking Artist Alley, and like, dude, I swear to God, like, my commission guys, my boys, I love you guys, and then literally everyone turns to look at us, and we're just like, like it was like, oh my God, that I just.
It was a moment. It was
We got back.
At the show.
I kept just screaming that to Legends and Kev Dog the rest of the weekend. My commission boys, I love you guys, like all weekend long. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Got a teabag him, lad?
Oh God, I'm gonna teabag him, son. Like Modern Warfare 2. That was a legendary story.
Me.
Yeah, it was.
Man.
It was pretty incredible.
Oh man, and there was another moment. We're at the sketch art booth, or I was at the sketch art booth, and one of the best stories was, Sean, were you with Legends the year that Bruce Timm threw a Funko Pop at a guy? Okay,
I was there.
that is one of my favorite stories that I wasn't there for, but I loved hearing the story. It is legendary in my, like, that is a story that I retell myself. I make them retell it to me. It was told on the podcast. I just love, and that is like one of the most legendary stories ever. Bruce Timm getting so fucking mad that he throws a Funko Pop at a fan, right? And it's like, that's like
they were fans. They were resellers.
Okay, so that's why he was frustrated.
He was selling like he probably was like 20 or 30, and they kept bringing more. And he's like, I'm not gonna sign anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's just like a public freak out event that like I just love that shit. And so I was at, I don't know why I was at the comic sketch booth, but I was at the comics. Oh, I was asking about dropping books off for David Finch. That's why I was there. So I went to go ask a question about CGC.
Yeah, I was with you.
Okay, and then this guy was freaking out. Like, he literally was having a meltdown Karen moment, freaking out on Doug, the owner of Comic Sketch Art. And so this, like, I walk up and there's like 5 people watching. Like, everyone's kind of like watching this guy melt down. And one of them happens to be John Dolmayan, the drummer of System of a Down, also owner of Torpedo Comics, is at the end. We're all watching this, and he's watching it too. And this guy's like, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me why you're refusing my service. Tell me, this is unprofessional. Your staff is being unprofessional. And then the guy's like, and then Doug just kept saying, this conversation is over, walk away. This conversation is over. I'm done with you. Walk away. And the guy just kept pressing and pressing and pressing. And then he goes, tell me what I did wrong. And Doug goes, all right. 2 of my female employees came back and they got me and they told me that you were being extremely aggressive and you're being very rude and you made them feel uncomfortable. And he's like, I don't put up with that shit. So you're out of here, right? And so he's like having his employees back, right? Respectable. And the guy wouldn't drop the issue. He's like, I came here because I need a Frank Miller commission. I had a question about a Frank Miller commission, and all I got was like, and he's just like freaking out about like the customer service. And then finally he goes, you know what? Give me your information. And the guy's like, you want my information? Give me your information. He's like, all right, here you go. Here's my card. There's my personal number right there. My name is Doug. I own this booth. You call this number, you get me. What do you want to tell me? And the guy goes, I'm going to tell Frank Miller, I'm going to tell all these creators how you treat customers. And then he goes, you're going to tell Frank Miller? I took Frank Miller to Disneyland last week. Go ahead and tell him. And then so he says that, and then so the guy was like, I'm going to tell Frank Miller, blah, blah, blah. So I tap the guy on the shoulder, and I go, hey, bro, if you have Frank Miller's number, can I get that? And then that made Doug like fucking crack up. And then so this guy is still freaking out so bad that literally John Dolmayan had to like intervene and like calm the guy down and be like, bro, like I guess he knew the guy. He must have been like a Torpedo Comics kid, right? I don't know if he's like a big buyer from like the events. He's probably like a big buyer, a big, you know, he's a signing guy. If you're listening to this, my guy, you know, apologies. It was a funny story. We're not making you the butt of the joke. It just, you know, it's a joke or it's whatever.
Just gotta chill, bro.
Yeah, and then so like John successfully calmed him down, and then he's like, I need Frank Miller's signature. I need Frank Miller's signature. And I was like, bro, go to the CGC booth, literally give them your books. They will get them signed for you.
Yeah,
like
they'll do it for you.
All you got to do, like, you don't even have to worry. And he just wouldn't hear it. He wasn't listening to it. But that was just an amazing fucking. That was my version of the Bruce Timm throwing a fucking Funko Pop at a guy. Like, I got my moment of witnessing something like that.
Dude, you bring up John, right? And there was a story about John this weekend. One of my old comic shops, shout out Nuclear Comics. They got their second shop in San Diego now. But there was a booth right ahead of him that I guess had a lot of silver and bronze. And the rumor was John bought out the booth for $230,000 cash. Just there you go, bought it out. So they bought out the booth, emptied out the whole booth. The booth sat empty for a full day at the con. And then John brought in Nerdy Girl and Reggie Collects to fill the booth. So he bought the booth. Nice. Yeah, so he bought out the booth to let them have the booth for the rest of the con. So John comes in, buys a collection, buys out the booth, opens it up for somebody else to have, and then they have their own booth for the rest of the weekend.
Wow. That's insane.
That explains the pictures they were taking together. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Look at Dunk's look at how furious Dunk is.
And then you guys,
I'll be there next year.
Stories, right? You guys were talking about stories about how like things are funny when they're there. So a really good friend of mine, Steve, his Instagram thing is Make Havoc, right? Him and Bernard Chang are really good friends, right? They know each other pretty well. So we go to Bernard Chang's table to go, or his booth to go pick up a commission that my friend had done, and he's like, he has a pages that he was going to get, that he was selling, right? His pages from Nightwing and like Monkey Prince and stuff like that, right? And there's a Nightwing cover that my friend wants, the one that has where Robin is changing, dropping the Robin costume and picking up the Nightwing costume, and it says "I was Robin." He's selling that cover. It was originally $1,200 or $1,300 for the cover, right? The original art. And he goes, "I'll tell you what, Steve, $750 right now." And he's like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?" And I'm like, "Man, that's a great price. Like, do it." And then he goes, "You know what? I'll tell you what. Are you a gambling man?" And he goes, "Why?" So Bernard Chang, out of his backpack, pulls this blue painter's tape roll out and these little dice, puts them in the center of the blue painter's roll. He goes, 7 rolls. You beat me. For every roll you beat me, I take $100 off the $750.
Oh.
He goes, if you beat me with doubles, I take $200 off. He goes, the lowest you get out of here, or the most you spend it, like if you beat me, is $100. He goes, if you commit, you're in for $750, but you have a chance to walk out with original art for $100.
I'm rolling dice.
Oh yeah, every time.
No.
He said no.
He said no.
I would have fucking sent him the $700.
So we were like sitting there, and he's like, no, I just picked up 3 other commissions. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. And then he goes, all right. And then it's like he practice rolls with him twice, right? And Bernard beats him too, and he's like, see, I'm not doing it. Then Bernard looks at me and he goes, come on, what about you? And I was like, sure, I'll take a roll with you, Bernard. And it's like, so because I picked up a Remark book from him anyway, so I'm already rolling something with him. So I rolled the dice and I beat him with doubles, and he's like, see, he already got $200 off. And then he's like, no, I don't believe it. Somebody else comes up to the table. Bernard offers them a roll. Bernard, he gets beat by a doubles again. So I tell my friend, I'm like, dude, he's on a losing streak. You need to jump now. And he's like, nah, I'm okay. And so Bernard walks away and he's like, all right, like, too bad. He goes, I don't think I'm going to do this offer tomorrow.
I would have made it rain. $700. Give me those dice, man.
Right? I was like, wow. But that's one of those stories where you're like, I was watching it unfold, going like, is this real life? Like, is this really happening?
This happens sometimes the retailers, they're like on Sundays they want to give you like discounts on comic books. And I know a few that like be like, hey, head your tails. If it's heads, you get 20% off whatever book you want or some shit like that.
Yeah.
If not, you pay 10% off, and it's like, just fucking flip the coin, dude. I'm in. But I haven't seen any books I want to spend money on yet. I don't even know what my next book is going to be. But you guys had a lot of fucking stories for the last 2.5 hours.
It was the best convention that I've ever attended.
Yeah, Sunday I just laid on the couch thinking of everything you guys told me and all the stories I saw. I just laid on the couch and I was like, I got to go next year. And I told Tom everything I'm doing. I'm like, bro, the money's going to be there. I'm fucking going. I told you too, Nando. Really, everybody knows. I have to go to San Diego.
How bad was the FOMO?
Yo, I don't know why the fuck I did this episode.
Made it worse.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm like, I got
we
this little gut
appreciate you giving
feeling.
us
I got
the,
thirsty
platform.
and shit. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, here I am. Like, oh, I review all the cons I go to, but the one I don't go to, a good portion of you guys go and have a fucking blast. I'm over here just
it was incredible
watching fucking, what is it? Better Call Saul.
All this taught me was that I need to make sure that I'm around Sean and Legends and Tom more often. We're
like the other thing that sort of people don't realize, like this show and Dave has seen me in action. It's like you have to be a ninja at this show. A lot of this, we have these experiences collectively, but a lot of this stuff happens, just by yourself.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, right place and right time. And I think a lot of times, sometimes people get caught up in like, oh, we got to do this all together. But you can do that like at nighttime. You can definitely do that at nighttime when you all meet at the bar. But you have to be super, 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 super focused when it comes to these shows, because everyone's competing for the same thing. Everyone wants to get this person's autograph. Everyone wants to get a sketch from this person. So you have to be super focused. And it's like, some people are like, oh, let me tag along. I'm like, dude, I don't like, some people were like trying to meet up with me. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to meet up with you at the show. Like definitely.
I told people not to meet up with you at the show. I was like, yo, you leave them alone during the con.
Yeah, like definitely, like we would like if we were waiting in line, it's like, oh yeah, you're going to be here. We save a spot and stuff. But like, it's like there's so much going on at San Diego. You have to really be super independent at this show and do your research in order to have an experience like we all had, because we all had like separate unique experiences. We also definitely like convened at certain times, but you have to be a very, 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 very,
very stealthy,
very independent. Yeah, very stealthy and independent person. Also, the other thing is like carrying around things at San Diego Comic-Con is a huge pain in the ass. And like, I don't pick up anything for anybody, and it's nothing personal, but it's like carrying one comic book, carrying two comic books, carrying it's like your shoulders are ready to fall off and you're not even doing something for yourself. So I didn't even get books signed. I got trading cards signed at this convention because I didn't feel like carrying anything. But yeah, it's just like the show is just like another level of busy and in everything going on. And I do think going forward into New York is going to be like this. And actually, I didn't even get to tell a story. Like Sunday, me and Dave have a mutual friend. His name is, it used to be Ryan Comic Guy on Instagram, but it's now Radically Ryan. But he's a pretty big collector. And I've known him for, I think, like 3 years now. And I didn't get to meet him in person until the last 2 hours of the show. So the last 2 hours of the show on Sunday, we're all sort of wrapping stuff up, whether it be like picking up commissions or getting like last minute autographs. But the last 2 hours of the show, I think the show ended at 5. I by chance had literally run into Ryan, a friend of mine, who I finally met in person back in Artist Alley. He's like, dude, what's going on? It's me, Ryan. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? So he's like, I mean, God bless Ryan, but Ryan isn't like con savvy like us. So he was just started telling me about his experience. He had come down from Vegas to pick up some pieces that he had bought from Bill Sienkiewicz. And this is not my story, but it's his story. But just to make it very short, I spent the last 2 hours of the show hanging out with Ryan and Bill Sienkiewicz and Bill's art dealer at Bill's booth. Bill showing me and Ryan all the prelims for the recent Riddler cover that is coming out that he worked on. Ryan bought, Jason and Kevin bought incredible pieces. Ryan bought multiple incredible pieces. And I was like, dude, how much did you spend on these things? But he's like a whole other league of collector. I mean, we're all collectors, but he bought a lot. But I was blessed enough to, and if you guys have ever tried to run into Bill at a show, Bill is in demand. You know, Bill is like a ghost at the show because he's so in demand. He's just like Jim.
Yeah.
But I got to spend like 2 hours sort of like eavesdropping on like Bill and Ryan, and shout out to Sal and Shannon's Bill's dealers, just talking about, you know, the pieces that Ryan bought. So that's how I capped off on my Sunday. But I do think, you know, going forward, like this show was so good that I was like, I'm gonna do New York Comic Con. Like I had told Dave, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do New York. No, I'm not gonna do New York. And I thought I was gonna tell you on Saturday, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do New York. You know, I mean, I know it's gonna be expensive, but I'm gonna do New York.
And then you're pretty much gonna stay out here because you got Baltimore in 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, well, I have to go back. I have to come. I'm not going to stay out because there's another show that's going on in California that I have to go to.
It's going in.
But yeah,
That's
I'm
the life.
really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to go to New York Comic Con and hang out with both Jason and Kevin, who look like they might have gone to sleep by now.
Yeah, Kev's on. He's listening, but I know Jason had to go.
But yeah, you know, like Tom said, it's just like the show was incredible. Like we could talk.
I'm still here, but barely.
We could talk hours and hours.
Got his gloves on.
There's so much that is missing from what we're telling. No amount of pictures or videos. If you guys listening or watching have ever wanted to do San Diego, just go. Just figure it out. Like if you have that drive and you're listening and you're watching this, you're like, oh man, I wish I was there. There's no chance I could ever do San Diego. I was like, I didn't have a ticket until an hour before the show on Wednesday. Kev Dog stuck in on preview night. Like there's so much going on. And I told this to you, Jason. I was like, even if you don't have a ticket to this show, there is so much going on off-site at the show, during the show and after the show that you can experience. And, you know, I think the thing San Diego offers over, you know, other big conventions is that it's great weather. Everyone's down to hang. There's certain talent that only goes to San Diego. And it's just like, there's just something about like that West Coast SoCal energy that's like
not that
equal
tired.
but better. Yeah,
that's
equal but better than New York. You know, New York is an amazing show, but like I just know that after I like do San Diego, I was like, can we do this on Monday and Tuesday as well? Like there's like that much like positive energy emanating from both the fans, except that one Frank Miller guy, and you know, the talent, you know, like, but I have to invest in some better shoes because they felt like my feet felt like they were on fire, you know, like Thursday afternoon, I was like, I should have worn slip-ons. I need like orthopedic nurse shoes in order to do this show.
I was thinking of doing that, like finding some comfortable shoes, because like come to the end of the second day,
yeah,
feet start hurting. But
yeah,
Kev Dog be telling me the Crocs is where it's at. Yo, everyone tells me how comfortable those Crocs are, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to invest in those.
I saw somebody have a Jim Lee signed pair of Crocs. Like somebody literally had Jim Lee sign the Crocs.
I definitely could see that if he's like running across the floor. It's like, oh, dude, sign this. I've seen Jim do drive-by signings. I've done a drive-by signing with Jim before. You know, like, do you see those creators that you know you collect from and then that you look up to, and you read and you visually look at, like, you take advantage of those moments. You know, San Diego presents those moments that you want to take advantage, that you need to take advantage of because they're there. You know, like I fucking running to almost every creator at a bar or like, you know, on the con floor outside the convention center. You know, it's just like you really don't. I feel like you don't experience that at other shows. You know.
One of the cool things too that this con was like completely different than my last ones. Like, I've been feeling like I've gotten in, like deeper in the community like in the past year and a half. I've gotten more, learned more people, know more people, befriend more people. Like, you know, a year ago, I wouldn't have seen Tom and Legends and then been like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" and been able to like point them out on the line and then point me out on the line. But I have other friends who actually had a panel this year, right? They actually hosted a panel on an on offsite at the library. So I got to go run and watch my friends do a panel about, you know, different things and learn how you can access to get a panel and how you can actually do one. So seeing that level of the con is different too, right? Like you get to go to the events, the parties, the shows, the signings, things, but then actually seeing people you know on panels is like a whole different kind of idea. So seeing the different, you know, slots of the convention as a whole really gave me a better perspective of everything, but a greater appreciation for the community, but also the collectible concept and just all how we all want the same thing and we all want to see everybody just keep going further on things.
Yeah, there's definitely like you see the different cliques and groups of collectors. It's interesting seeing like the pockets of type of collectors, whether it be original art, CGC books, people who collect modern stuff. You know, it's like I feel like you know, just to bounce off that, I didn't really see like these, you know, YouTube or IG personalities really be a thing until this show, you know. And I started collecting basically when I started listening to the Bat Force, and I've been lucky enough to, you know, keep in touch with you guys and hang out with you guys like at shows and just, you know, just in real life. But yeah, you know, every show you learn more and more, and I feel like hopefully I have a better show in my next one, you know.
Can't wait. I have Terrificon next weekend. That's not nearly as big, but
no, that's a fun show, man. Like I went to Terrificon last year, and it was like that was one of the first early shows.
Yeah, that opened things up again because that was like right before New York Comic Con. Yeah,
that was an incredible show. You know, I wish I was going to that, but like I'm too tired.
It's a lot of cancellations this year.
I'm too tired.
I'm too tired. I can't do it anymore.
But yeah, I had a blast. It was definitely one for the weekend. Hopefully, it was one for the year. Hopefully next year can top it. You know, maybe there's a Bat Force panel. You know, like nothing's.
You never know.
Honestly, like nothing's out of the question. You know, there's definitely like.
We have a table.
Like I wrote, like I would do certain things on a piece of paper, and I did them all. You know,
yeah.
And I'm just happy that I had a great experience.
Yeah, you guys had some crazy stories for San Diego Comic-Con. I definitely have to go next year. I'm looking forward for, I guess, you guys coming down to New York Comic-Con. Tom, we didn't get you to New York.
Yeah, it's. I was saying earlier before we started recording, like I could probably get to New York, but once I get there, I'm not gonna have any fucking way. It's like I'll go broke getting there, and then just hang out and bum, you know. But one day for sure.
Yeah, same thing, Nando. We need to get you out there. I'm gonna have. I guess Risley's gonna be down in New York.
I'll figure it
gonna
out.
be there.
I have to ship myself in the box. I'll figure it out.
We still have, at least I know for my docket, I have at least Vegas in September and LA at the end of the year. Those are the last two that I know for sure on mine.
Okay, you have Tyler Kirkham and Matina at Vegas.
And Tenyon.
And
Tenyon.
And Martin Simmons.
Yeah, Martin Simmons.
Nice. Well, it's about 1 a.m. on my side of the country here, and I'll be up in 4 hours to fucking run because I hate myself. Guys, thank you for sharing your stories. They're crazy. I'm pretty sure as we talk the next couple of weeks or so, there's more things you guys get to share with me because it's difficult to share 4 or 5 days worth of things and experiences that go on, especially with
so many people,
so many groups, so many transactions. But I'm looking forward to hear more. I want to thank you guys for jumping on and giving me your time to share the story in public. Can't wait to hear some comments and what other people got to say. Anything else before we wrap it up that you guys want to say? Tell anyone? I know, Risley, you specified a lot on like focusing on the con, getting things done, just showing the hell up and doing it. Tom, Nando, you guys have anything? Any advice for anyone who hasn't conned or wants to go to San Diego?
If you want to do San Diego, just do it. Find a way to do it and just go down, because the experience, the people you meet, and just the people you even talk to in line, it's worth the time and effort that you put out, because it's just that much of a memory and thing you'll be able to create and take home with you. And word of advice, if you ever get a chance to have margaritas in the bay on a yacht during Comic-Con, do it.
How about you, Tom?
Yeah, just print out a to-do list, print out a schedule, take it with you, get to know as much as what's going on before you get down there, because guaranteed you're not going to do everything that you think you can. It's like there's just not enough hours in the day, man. Like, there's just so much to do. Kev Dog, look at fucking Kev Dog.
AKA
I took this from Risley.
AKA Sean needs to just basically run a tutorial YouTube on how to prep for conventions.
I took this from Risley. I went through every day, panel schedule, signature schedule, typed out everything I was looking for.
Yeah.
And now you got an emergency call. Thanks, guys.
Code Brown.
All right, guys.
Very much
Well,
so. Peace.
Be safe,
Later, guys.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you follow the squad. Leave a comment. Leave some likes. Please subscribe. Drop some con moments, some future cons you to go to. If you see us, say what's up. Don't slow us down, though.
Yeah, don't slow us down.
Don't slow us down. Have a good one. Good night.